Welcome to Apologia Live and another edition of Ham and Egg News, where we react to Ken Ham reacting to things, this time live. And actually, for the very first time live, we are here gathered today for a charity stream. So I'm hoping everyone is feeling generous and everyone's feeling excited and everyone's feeling forgiving and everyone's getting ready to be angry, because we're going to be attempting a Ham and Egg News session here live. And I brought on some people who I know will be angry along with me. First of all, we have Shannon Q. Welcome, Shannon.
Hi, I'm already angry. Super angry.
And we've also got with us one Jimmy Snow.
Oh, I should say hi. Yeah. Hello, I'm Jimmy Snow.
If you want, that's just my own sound check for type of thing. Yeah, so three of us, and we expect perhaps if circumstances work out that we will be joined by Vice Rhino as well. Some of you may remember over the past number of years, everyone here on stream has been involved with a charity fundraiser project that Vice Rhino has spearheaded, and in particular his belated wife, for whom this was her most favorite time of the year, doing these charity streams. And we miss Mrs. Rhino, and it's been a little over a year since she passed. And Shannon and I just were discussing the other day how we wanted to chip in beyond just the finances and try and push this thing. And so we actually have, let me see if I have it here. We have the stream, the fundraising goal here so far. It is at $76.50. And our goal here tonight is to push that thing over 10K.
Yes, please. She would be so excited. This was her favorite thing, like her favorite thing. Every single donation, she would message and be like, guys, we got this donation. Like, I can think of no better way to honor her than all of us as a community rallying together to do this in her honor, like for this to be part of her legacy in our community. And it's such a good charity too. Project Share is a really, really extraordinary charity. They help with housing. They help with food insecurity. They help with job training. They help with like healthcare that isn't covered by the Canadian healthcare system. They're just an all-around amazing charity. They're like, you're supporting something really, really great in honor of an amazing person who we all miss terribly. But who lived for this. So support, I'm putting the donate link in the chat again so that people know where to go to donate. We're not taking super chats. No super chats today. Everything is the donations. And you can see the Chiron at the bottom that shows everybody's donation. You can leave a comment there. Any comment that's above $10, we will scroll up periodically and we will read them like super chat, so you can still interact with the stream. And I probably just stepped all over everything Paul was going to say because I am a nightmare.
That's all good. It's less for me to do. I'm not going to complain about that for sure.
It's the only part of the stream I'm going to be happy about because I fucking hate Ken Ham and his stupid moron crew. I don't even watch.
Yeah, so indeed, we are. As you said, super chats has been turned off for this stream. We do appreciate that everyone who normally would super chat here on Apologia Live. But yeah, we're asking that all donations today go to the Project Share in question, charity in question. Pardon me, I'm losing it already. Yeah, and definitely leave us a comment when you leave a donation, and we will read those between stories. For those of you who aren't familiar with how the whole Answers News things works, it's their artifice of a news show where they go through different articles and different things. And I'm not sure how well we're going to make it through the different articles. It may or may not go well, but ideally, what we're thinking is that between each Answers News story, that we will go through all of the donations and read what you guys have to say and share that on stream. We hope that you are, although please have fun and interact with each other in the chat. And perhaps if we see comments that catch our eye, we will carry that as well. But you can see on the bottom, go to vicerhino.com/donate is the URL where everything should go. And we will be checking in periodically on the goal to see how we're doing. And we fully expect this to be at 10,000 before too long. We hope.
We've already got one that says Jimmy looks cold.
I'm not. In fact, I wish it was cooler. This is that time of year. I'm like, for the first time ever, just thriving in Texas, and everybody else is acting like it's below zero outside. I'm like, it is 48 degrees. Calm down.
We would be in our swimsuits.
Like, Same.
How come I can't see that one?
Hit refresh, bro.
Do I have to hit refresh?
Because I'm better than you. That's why.
All right. We have several already. Look at that.
Look at this crew. We haven't even started listening to this. Maybe we don't even need to listen to Ken Ham.
Well, we do.
Maybe we don't even have to. Maybe.
Samuel, thank you. Jimmy looks cold. Grant, we thank you for your $5. And Mark Rothenbuehler, keep up the great work. All around best. MR. So
thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, we should actually try and let's see if we can get this to get it to 8K before Vice even gets here.
Oh, that would be so cool if he got here and we're already like, we're already past 1,000.
All right.
Did you all know that the rest of the world said, or the U.S. says eggs? So people might not understand the pun that is ham and eggs. I just wanted to point that out. This is a very Canadian pun.
Oh, Vice ruined it. He's here before we hit 8,000. Jerk. Sorry. We had a whole plan. We had a whole freaking plan.
I was sitting backstage listening to all you.
Yeah, and I was so busy. I was so busy excited for the about the whole charity that I was forgetting about my guests. I'm not a very good host.
You're better than me. Did anyone see my stream from this week?
No, not this week. I saw the one you did with Paul where I got Paul super drunk.
I thought I was a pretty good host, but I keep getting reprimanded by whoever runs the line.
I heard he's a dick.
Those comments.
He doesn't allow
the first 8 minutes of my stream was an audio disaster. So for 4 minutes I was muted, and then the next 4 minutes there was a nasty echo because I didn't realize that I had Cyrus's stream open in another tab in the background.
Oh no.
And he was my guest, and he was also streaming, and so there was
nailed it.
Wasn't until he left the Zoom call, and I'm like, I can still hear him talking. How can I hear him talking? He's not on the call anymore.
No, I'm gonna wreck Jimmy's framing now. Where are we at? Oh.
I was trying to match general head size. I was taking an average and
perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I could show everyone the mess that is here.
No,
there we go. This is great.
The wires, I'm gonna freak out.
Yeah, don't look.
I'm gonna actually lose my mind.
Those of you who saw my video today, I had a special shout out to Vice a couple times, and he wasn't appreciative. So I don't know.
You used the least flattering footage of me possible, and then you compared me to Braxton.
Not to Braxton.
I told you he's a dick.
Not Braxton. Mike Winger. I don't know. They're all the
Hi,
same
Jimmy. That's we need something to not happen. That's.
I was gonna suggest every time someone donates $10, I'll hit the zoom out button once.
But we need to see all his pores.
That's right.
Every single one.
This is a real mustache. Stop the conspiracies.
All right, before we get to Ken, do we have anything new? Oh, we have a couple.
Yay!
We have Amy Miller. Thank you, Amy. My pagan heart loves all you do. Well, thank you so much. And we also have $20 from Fred Harvey. Thank you, Fred.
Thanks, squad.
I wanted to, of course, remind everyone, some people in the audience, some of us, none of us in the panel are Christians. And some of you in the audience also aren't Christians. And despite the fact that we have no grounding for our morals, it is so great that we are just, pretending and borrowing from Christianity in order to have empathy enough to help out other people who we know that we would like to be helped if we were in the same situation is astounding.
God wrote it on our hearts.
This just in, God told me to kill all the Amalek children.
Oh, okay.
So
just maybe just the ones in your area.
I'll be back. I'll get back to you when I'm in prison.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Jimmy, I have a question about your Zoom thing. Is it like for every $10 you hit the Zoom out once, or every single donation that's over $10 you hit?
I did per 10, so I've clicked Zoom out 3 times so far for those 3 that came in. Yeah, it's not a lot of Zoom out. It's like 1% each time, if that.
Okay. Well, let's let's get to the main attraction while everyone is still lucid. So this is going to be the most recent episode of Answers News. It is.
I
from
hate it
November-
already.
It's from November 14, 2022, and the name of the episode was "Evolutionists Do Not Want You to Watch This."
I mean, they're probably
Here
right.
we are.
They're probably right.
But
I
here
don't
we
want- I
are,
certainly
four
don't wanna watch it.
evolutionists
We're bad
helping
evolutionists.
people watch it. So, all right.
The
Off we go.
shittiest evolutionists. I hate it. Oh, I hate
My
it
name
already.
is Dr. Georgia Pridham. I'm joined.
Boo.
Oh, let's
She
go.
got gray hair
Evolutionists
now?
a bit short-sighted.
Welcome to
Oh,
Answers
Patricia.
News
It's
for
Patricia
Monday,
Engler.
November 14, 2022.
Yeah, so Georgia's gone full silver.
Oh, good for her. Embrace it.
Yeah.
Congrats to
Okay,
her.
my brain, like, I don't know if I had a small stroke, but when it started there, it took me a second to catch up to what he said because I fully heard him say, Amy's just a bitch, short-sighted. I don't know what. Can we replay that? Am I crazy?
Yeah, we'll replay that. Let's see what we
Okay.
got.
Oh, no. They're going to talk about vision. You did pick this to
Are
piss me off.
evolutionists a bit short-sighted?
Okay, I see.
Welcome to
Yeah,
Answers
right.
News for
I gotta pay attention. I gotta watch lips
Son
or
of a
something.
bitch.
Yeah.
You did this on purpose.
Monday, November 14, 2022.
My name
no,
is
that's not
Dr.
Patricia.
Georgia Pridham. I'm joined by Patricia Engler
Oh, it is
and
Patricia.
Rocket
Okay.
Rob Webb. And today we're going to be
Who is this idiot? I've never seen him before.
How much do you want to bet? How much do you want to bet? Just because his last name is Webb and the James Webb Telescope is out there, that's why they call him
Oh.
Rocket Rob Webb.
Oh, you are giving them way too much credit, I think. But
You
I
think-
mean,
you think it's
could
even
be right.
stupider than that?
No, I don't. I don't know. I really don't know. I just don't know who this guy is. Like, this is like the B crew.
I
and
know
this
he
small
wears
group
a
from
shirt size schmedium.
Well,
Wanna
Patricia,
tell-
no, Patricia Engler is the A team in Canada.
Yeah.
There's an Answers News Canada.
Yes.
Yeah. Remember,
Fuck
they're
you.
Not
the
Answers
ones,
News,
they're the
it's
ones
just
that
AIG.
banned me first.
Well, I didn't know that they had an Answers News. I knew that they had an Answers in
it's,
Genesis, and they had like their
Patricia
stupid
Engler
newsletter.
does the CTI scan series, and
I'm
then
so
what's his
upset.
face? What's that other guy?
Oh.
Calvin
Paul.
Smith.
Yes,
Calvin
Calvin
Smith.
Smith, the guy formerly of CMI. Calvin
Is that the
Smith.
guy that doxed you?
Yeah,
No.
he's the guy who doxed me. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, did he dox you, or did you go on the news with your real name, or both?
No, I did the news with my real name after he.
Yeah,
after
he did that first
name.
because they banned him from the homeschooling conference first. But anyway, this is sorry, got derailed because I don't know. Who
And
the fuck
Rob
this guy
Webb,
is.
just so you know, Rob Webb was a former aerospace engineer, and by that he has a bachelor's of aerospace engineering. And I don't know anyone who does that for a living with only a bachelor's, but okay.
That's why he's Rocket Rob.
Okay.
That
No, I
ain't
could
why
be
he's
com-
Rocket Rob.
actually-
Jimmy's like, oh, I know why he's Rocket Rob. I can tell you stories.
Oh, never mind. I was wrong about that. He actually has a master's. So my apologies to Rob for under credentialing him. But yes. All right. Let's see what they have to say about things that are going to make Shannon mad.
You did this on purpose.
Yes.
discussing the great complexity of the human eye from a biblical perspective, in addition to some other news stories. But first, we're going to start off with visualizing the evolution of vision and the eye. Okay.
I hate you so
Now,
much.
I always find this fascinating whenever they try to explain the evolution of the eye, because it is, obviously the eye is a very, very complex thing. And it was one of the things that Darwin even said, like he couldn't imagine how you could.
He said that at the beginning of his chapter where he explained how it happened.
It's literally a bait and switch, you idiot. You fell for the bait.
No, it wasn't even a bait and switch. It's just Darwin was a masterful, whatever the written version of orator is.
Oh, I just fucked up my thing. I was trying to turn tracking on. No, but it was. It was sort of like it was
that was-
not
that was
literally
his-
a bait and switch, but it was like a boy, it's so advanced that how
was
could
his
this
style.
even
If
be? And now here's the answer.
If you read any of his correspondence with anyone that he disagreed with, he always opened up with, hey, I'm probably wrong. That's okay. I understand. Now, here's why I think I'm right. And then he would lay out his case, and he was always friggin' fantastic about it. And like, that was his writing style. So like, they always latch onto that stupid quote at the beginning of the chapter that was explaining how eyes evolved. And they're like, see, not even Darwin knew how eyes evolved. As if it would even matter whether or not Darwin knew how eyes evolved. The guy lived like 200 years ago.
Yeah, he didn't know about genes.
we've
He
made
never
a few-
did learn about them. So
Are you guys familiar with his idea of how traits were passed on?
um,
The gemules?
Yeah,
thing?
he thought
Remind-
they
yeah.
blended, that they averaged
There
basically.
were, well, sort of. There were. He believed that there were these particles that were produced in your body that had these traits called gemules, and when it was time for you to mate, these gemules would like migrate down to your sperm and or egg, and like attach themselves to the sperm and egg, and then when you had sex, that would mix the gemules, which would then determine the traits of the offspring. It was weird, and it was completely wrong because he didn't know what the fuck genetics were.
Yeah. But they quote Darwin, quote Darwin. They bring Darwin up every time because they
'Cause
feel like he's like
They
the
don't know.
pinnacle.
They don't know how to deal with a worldview that doesn't rely on an authority figure for information.
That's the ticket. That's what's up. That is what is up. Jimmy's
My
nose
tracking
floating
software.
around the screen.
My tracking software does not understand how to track my face when it's this far zoomed in. It wants to. It's oh boy, it's trying. All right, let's see if I move over here. No, come on, come to me. No,
Oh my
it's-
gosh.
We've
It's having trouble.
I don't know if we've got if we've read
it's
Bugman.
slowly lowering.
Bugman donated $20 and said Zoom 2, please.
Okay, thank goodness. There we go.
Tux
One.
TV donated 50.
yeah, we're
And
doing
then-
that between stories, Vice.
Oh,
you
sorry.
weren't here for the pro.
Yeah, you didn't listen to the rules. You're not following
Sorry.
the rules.
Okay.
We're
Well, we're
We're-
$14 away from 8,000 when I can join the stream. So
I'm looking forward to meeting you.
all right. Let's but yes, viceradio.com/donate for compensation
it
to
back
Shannon
in. We need our
for what's
yes.
about to happen.
What
I'm
are
gonna
you
be so-
doing?
Explain the evolution of it. Now, not that he doubted that it evolved, but it was hard for him to imagine to seeing not
No, it
just the
wasn't.
human eye, but the eyes of other.
it was not hard for him to imagine. He literally had a whole chapter explaining it.
Yep.
That she quoted the beginning of. So obviously she's familiar with the fact that he covers it in that chapter.
Or she's familiar with the fact that other Answers to Genesis speakers use that quote.
Yeah, and also, even if he couldn't explain it, even if Darwin did say, yeah, there's no explaining this, that was a long motherfucking time ago. And since then, we've learned a lot more about ocular anatomy and evolution. So we're better at explaining it now.
Imagine if Christianity actually had to engage with modern evolutionary scientists, though. That's not a thing they do. It's of course they're going to start with the first one.
Well, it's like cosmology. Like there are dozens of cosmological models out there that explain what, if anything, existed before the Big Bang. And yet every single time an apologist talks about it, they're like, no, the Big Bang means that the universe came from nothing.
Yeah.
Therefore, atheists are ridiculous. And like, no, that's one of like several dozen models. Like learn more than just the one that you think makes your position look the best.
So dishonest.
Like Darwin was wrong about a lot, especially race. Now, hang on now. Well, that one.
Did you hear the
Hang
subtitle of
on.
his book? Did you hear the subtitle of his book? It's the preservation of the favored races and the struggle for life. Clearly, Darwin
Never
had
mind
favorite
that-
races. Never mind
Never mind
he was
that
talking about
humans aren't
racism.
mentioned in that book.
Well, they are mentioned. They're mentioned 4 times, but the word
Yeah.
race is never mentioned near them. He's more talking about races of cabbage.
Exactly.
Cabbage.
When I'm zoomed in and I tell it to track me, it immediately starts drifting downward as though it thinks my entire
Oh.
person
Jimmy
is in my dick.
titties.
I think Jimmy is just sponsored by Frameworks.
Yeah. Tell your camera
So
that
there-
your eyes are up here.
So Jimmy, where did you?
That's what I'm saying.
Where did you get
My
that
camera-
beautiful Frameworks microphone arm?
My camera thinks my mind is in my dick, and it's not wrong.
I was like, your camera's onto something.
It's fine. I understand.
Organisms, how could something this complex that allows our brains to see everything in full color for human beings, how could
No,
that
not full
have
color.
evolved?
It's no.
It's only full color at the front. The sides are black and white. Your brain just fills in what it
That's
thinks.
not
the
that's not
pixels are.
entirely true.
No, okay,
It's not
but-
entirely 100% true. So the fovea of your eye is where the cones are concentrated, and there's 3 different types of cones in the human eye. The human eye can only perceive 3 different types of color. Birds can perceive significantly more than that, but that's a whole different story. But those cones are distributed in minor proportions throughout the rest of the retina, but they're concentrated, like densely concentrated just in the fovea. So, which is like the head of a pin, like the head of a very, very tiny pin. That's it. That is what your color perception is, just the head of a pin. The rest of your eye is rods, and rods aren't just black and white perception. They're depth perception, movement, peripheral vision, all of that stuff, which is why your peripheral vision actually, for the most part, isn't in color. So not entirely true, but mostly true. Like, dude, you're right on the right track. But this is why Paul picked this for me, because I know ocular anatomy inside out and backwards. But Georgia kind of gave away the ghost there a little bit, though, because she did say allows your brain to see, which is the important part, because your eyes don't actually see shit.
What
They're
does
sense
give up
organs.
the ghost mean in Canada?
Yeah, I thought it meant to die.
That's what
Is
I
that what it
fully thought.
means?
Yeah. Give up the ghost means to
No.
die.
Is that what that means? No. Oh my gosh.
It comes from the Bible, Shannon. Jesus gave up the ghost.
Give up the ghost.
That comes from the book of John.
It's like a
No way.
It's like a
I've
sick
been
trap
using
beat.
that term wrong my entire life, if that's what that means.
Yeah. Don't
I
worry.
thought that
I was,
means
I was
like
kind of wondering about that too, but
you like. I thought that it meant like you were trying to hide something.
Would
but
you
it's
like me to help
but
you
it's
feel a
slipped
lot
out.
better?
that would be letting the cat out of the bag.
I can
Yeah,
make you
I know that that's what that means, but I thought sometimes there's more than one turn of phrase that means the same sort of thing. But this is good for me. This is like that time that I found out that I was using tertiary to mean something entirely different.
Oh, I used to use penultimate to mean ultimate. I thought it was just like putting extra emphasis on the
It's
ultimate.
better than ultimate. Yeah.
I used to use tertiary that like is interchangeable with tangential.
I can make you feel way
But that's
better.
not.
My friend Lacey, whenever she would like try to like challenge, like playfully say, "I'm gonna fight you,"
Yeah.
she'd be like, "Say that again, and I'll toss your salad." Not kidding. She thought that's what that meant.
To be fair, you say that when a bar fight's starting to brew, and it might diffuse things.
She's
try,
so
Or escalate.
Depending on the bar.
If you follow through with it, it'll definitely have some interesting consequences.
She so thought it was that she thought I was pranking her and trying to correct her. When I was like, "Oh, Lacey, no." Like,
have you guys seen the children's book of the little girl holding a bowl of salad that's called "Who Will Toss My Salad"?
No.
It's like the whole story of the book is she's going around trying to find someone who will toss her salad for her.
Oh dear God. Oh dear God.
And I don't think that's one of the ones. Like there's the one where like it's the story of the guy named Mike Hunt or Mike Literus or whatever. Like I forget what it is. It's like Mike Literus is very shy. He likes to hide. Mike Literus likes to play with balls or something. Like I don't know. It like go and like it's done on purpose.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't think Who Will Toss My Salad is done that way. I think it was legitimately supposed to be a children's book.
Oh dear God.
Mike Literus is a conspiracy created by leftists. Mike Literus doesn't really exist.
This is for charity, folks. Rhino.com/donate.
Donate more to hear us talk about Mike Literus.
In memory of the mother of Vice's children.
I don't know why you invited me if this wasn't what you expected. Thank you.
This is all.
guys,
this was
you know
all
what?
I wanted and more.
This is almost the exact crew I had on one of the previous years when I did the fundraiser when we did the it was the Dick Trivia charity, the Dick Trivia thing.
Oh yeah.
I think we're just missing John.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I miss John.
I miss John too. John was just streaming.
Now, like I say, evolutionists have developed, and I use this term realistically, stories, to tell us exactly how that happened.
Yeah, I remember as a student going through my science degree and opening up my textbook, and they have these really nice, like pretty illustrations like you have in this article showing all these little stages of supposed eye evolution. So what they've done is they've looked across all the animals that exist basically and seen what kind of eyes they have, and then they organize them from simple to complex. so-called simple, even like the very most simple ones are extremely complex, but then they say like this is how we know it evolved, and that's just a direct what we call an appeal to possibility fallacy.
Appeal
you're
to
saying
possibility fallacy. That's a new one to
feels,
me.
That
Appeal
feels
to
new.
possibility.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's a thing. It has a Wikipedia page.
Well, then it must be true.
Appeal to probability or
Tell me
appeal to
it.
possibility, also known as possibiliter ergo probabiliter, possibly therefore probably, is
Okay.
the logical fallacy of taking something for granted because it would probably be the case or might possibly be the case. This sounds like using Occam's razor, but as a fallacy.
Yeah, no, almost like it just reminds me of like, well, are you saying it's impossible there's a God? No. Then let's believe.
Oh, it's the Tim Taylor or Tim Allen, whatever his fucking name is.
Tim
Tim
Allen.
the Toolman Taylor?
Yeah, where he said like, oh well, if you don't believe in God, well, there must be a God for you to not believe in.
Yep.
It's
Yes, that was
something along those lines.
galaxy brain shit. That's what that was. So and I was like, you're right.
I did a lot of coke in my 20s, but Tim Allen proves I could have done much more.
Right.
Way more.
He also proves that probably would have caused some brain damage, I think.
It did. Are you shitting me? Have you met me? God.
Valid.
I'm just saying there was more room for more damage.
Could have happened this way, therefore it did happen this way, but it's actually not even true that it could have happened that way because we don't actually have a mechanism for creating those new types of eyes in the first place.
You?
Yeah, I think it was in
How do we
1859.
not have a mechanism for that?
Did you not see her smugly nodding?
Which her, Georgia? Or?
Strong counter.
No,
The curly hair girl.
the Canadian
Patricia.
girl, Patricia. Patricia was smug. I don't see how you can refute smug nodding.
Jimmy. Jimmy, you're way zoomed out now. Jimmy must be monitoring. Yeah, I don't understand how they don't understand. Isn't Georgia like a geneticist or something? Like, how could she not?
Georgia is a geneticist.
Yeah,
So
but
I
they're-
don't understand how she could, with a straight face, sit there and not get that it would be iterative mutations that were beneficial.
So I have a theory about Georgia. I think she has a hard time telling the more blatant lies
Yeah.
because I have noticed that, well, maybe it's not so much true anymore, but in the past when I followed Answers News more closely, I had noticed that most of the time when they were talking about genetic stories, Georgia was not there. And I've also noticed that in her talks that she gives, she doesn't really get into the genetic, like any of the arguments that would have anything to do with genetics.
So she can feel like she still has the
So-
artifice of integrity by not
Yeah,
actually saying
like,
the quiet part loud.
She does say stuff that, like, in order to get a PhD in genetics, she has to know that what she's saying is wrong. But she doesn't say some of the more blatantly wrong things to do with genetics that they often push. And I think she has trouble with that. This might just be me trying to project humanity onto someone with no conscience, but
I mean, if
Maybe-
I was an active participant in destroying my own integrity, I'd probably have a problem with it too. But that's just me.
yeah.
Maybe she wants to be defiant of the concepts of ancestry as an act of rebellion toward whatever parents hated her so much they named her after a state.
Someone in the chat said Ezekiel 23:20 is the best verse in the Bible. I'm inclined to agree with that one.
I don't know what verse that is.
Oh, you
Share
don't
with
know
the
that one?
group.
Okay, that's
Share with the group.
I'm going to look it up so I can read it verbatim because it deserves to be read properly.
I'm going to name my kid Massachusetts.
Ezekiel,
Alaska Jones has a bone to pick with you, Jim.
Ezekiel 23:20, and there she lusted after her lovers, whose members were like those of donkeys, and whose issue was like that of horses.
We might want to take the comment off the screen that's currently covering Vice's face.
That's right. I always forget that
Oh my gosh.
that happens that way.
Oh
So
my goodness.
that's the one talking about the lady she's just out there living her best life, enjoying the gigantic cocks who spew forth massive semen.
Who is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Well, sorry,
Yeah,
Paul. I should probably clarify. I'm allowed to like swear and talk dirty.
You
and
are
stuff on
allowed
this
to
channel.
swear.
No,
because
fuck
it's-
you.
It's
I can
late
talk
night
about horse
and we're on
cum on this channel.
you can.
Tired
This
of seeing
channel-
I'm tired of
Ship
seeing
sailed.
leftists overcorrect so hard that they start slut shaming and going full purity culture viced. Jesus Christ. Let her like her donkey dicks.
I got a community strike for sharing a link to software today, so
I hope you challenged it, by the way,
I didn't, not yet.
because there are full-on YouTube channels that like promote that shit, and then you got like, I got to think Nick Nimmon's got a couple of 4K video downloader tips.
Yeah.
But what I hear you saying is go easy on the horse cum tonight because you don't want
No, that was the
other
opposite.
channel.
Like, screw it, we're burning this down. I have a separate channel for a reason.
It's been a good run. It's been a
Why
good
do you
run.
think
You've
I
got another
didn't-
channel.
Why do you think I didn't use a clear mug?
Proposed
trying to
dynamical
swallow
sucking said
when I-
that future research would show
Wait,
that.
what were you trying to swallow, Shannon? We were talking about horse cum.
I
and
was
you just
trying to
yelled out,
swallow.
I was
a
trying to
Coke
swallow
out of my clear mason jar.
Oh, sure you were. Sure.
You turned the video on as I took a sip and said the word viscous, which was a truly disgusting moment
What?
that
Fucking
everyone
sent me
missed.
over the edge. That's what did it. For the record, fuck
That's-
you.
Yeah.
If
I
I
don't know
don't
what your
interrupt
first ever
disturbing
you
things, we're never going to get to the end of this video.
Oh my
so.
god, we're what,
Eyes
2.5
evolve from
minutes?
simple to complex, but really today we know that eyes are far more complex. Even the so-called simple ones, like you were saying, they're way more complex than Darwin could have ever imagined. I actually looked it up. Just the human eye has 137 million light-sensitive cells that sends messages to your brain. So it
You don't
basically
even know what they're
takes
called,
these
you
electric.
fucking idiot.
By the
But
way,
there are lots of them,
Oh!
Shannon. But there are lots of them.
right. How many types of
Right.
cells? How many types
They
of
were
light
just on the
sensitive cells?
fucking graphic he had on screen.
Yeah.
They
But
were
this
the
is my-
first fucking step. The
They're-
first fucking step on the graphic was photoreceptors, which are
Right. The thing that they're getting like tied up on is the number. Because as far as
Right.
like how many types of light sensitive cells are there in the eye?
Like
It's
4.
like, yeah, I thought I was gonna say I think it's 4.
4.
Yeah.
5 if
Now,
you're tetrachromat.
137 divided by 4 is still something like 30 something million, and that's a big number. But realistically, it's 4,
Yeah.
and they
Right,
must know with some idea of biology and what it like creating lots of a cell, not remotely impressive.
There's
No.
he'd be mind fucking blown if he found out how many cells were in his whole entire goddamn body. Like,
Right.
Or
If
how
just
about,
the
how about
type
how
of
many
cell.
bacteria cells are in your body that aren't like there's your
Right.
bacterial DNA outweighs your own DNA by something like 10 to 1 or something ridiculous like that. I don't remember the number. Don't quote me on that. I'm probably wrong.
So
But
mad.
Right. If you can find an eye with 137 million unique points of data transmitted to the brain, you got me. I believe in God now. And we can't even read all 137 million at a time. It's always just like,
Nope.
all right, here's the 9 you need at this moment. Fuck you for the rest. We're going to trick you. And you have a blind spot in your vision. 137 million and it couldn't go a millimeter to the left. I dare say this is stupid.
And it's also not even what we see. Like what hits our photoreceptors is
Yeah.
upside down, backwards, full of holes through a viscous liquid.
Very viscous.
Two
Salty.
viscous liquids, actually,
Salty.
aqueous and vitreous
and-
humor. There's 2 different types of
and your
liquid
brain
in
does
eye.
a whole shit ton of post processing on that. Like
That, all of
like
it.
like
All
Yeah.
of it.
you know, like everybody knows the feeling like laying on the grass and looking at the clouds, and then your friend like points at one and says, "Hey, that one looks like a rabbit." And you were
Yeah.
looking at that one before, and it didn't look like a rabbit.
But now it
But
does.
as soon as that seed is planted in your brain that it looks like a rabbit, suddenly it does. Because when your brain decides that this thing looks like this thing that you're familiar with, it actively works to make it look more like that thing. So like your brain can be tricked very easily
Right.
like that by like the data that's coming in through your eyes, because it has to figure out like it does all sorts of post processing on it that's just completely ridiculous and is not really the best. It like there are better ways that it could be done, like cameras, for instance.
Not to mention the path
actually
it
take a
takes.
true representation.
The path it takes makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. Like
Mhm.
if you're designing it, because everything in your right visual field gets processed on the left side, everything in the left visual field gets processed on the right side. In order for it to unify, it has to cross over an optic chiasm that's like weirdly in the middle of your brain for like no reason, and then unify and go across the other side of your brain to hit the occipital lobe, which is where it starts to be processed. It doesn't become anything even resembling your perception of vision until after it goes through like multiple reconfigurations.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. But I'm still hung up on that he is talking about how he's refuting this, but he can't even get the vernacular related to the anatomy, even like almost right. Like even when it was right the fuck in front of him, like photoreceptor was literally the first fucking thing, and he was like, cells. They're not even really cells. They're light sensitive fucking proteins called opsins that are at the end of the photoreceptor. And those light sensitive proteins change their shape and configuration just slightly based on a reaction to light, because sometimes protein reacts to light. And then that reaction is what's registered. It's not like you just get a pic. I'll shut the fuck up.
I have a question. I have a question for if we have a scientist in the live chat or something. Would my viscous eye fluid taste different if I've drank a lot of pineapple juice?
I'm just going to go with yes on that. I'm just going to go with yes on that.
If this wasn't for charity, I swear to God.
It's gross, and yet every single person is now wondering, like, but wait, would it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It stands to reason.
I don't think
pulses, and then your brain's able to interpret it. Essentially seeing these pictures of the world, they said at 1.5 million messages per millisecond. I mean, just as an engineer, I was in the aerospace industry for about 10 years, so I'm used to making things, making designs and systems. Man has never developed a camera that even comes close to how complex the eye is.
Fuck yourself. Oh my God, go fuck yourself.
So I don't...
Wow.
I don't remember what video it was of mine or what the exact numbers were, but this was several years ago, back when I was using a much, much, much older processor than what I have now. And I remember the claim that I was responding to, like he said something like, "Oh, there's so many million electrical connections in your eye, and a human electrician is not capable of making that many electrical connections." And I'm like, I'm sitting here with a processor that's it was a couple years old at the time. And it's like, it's got 2 billion electrical connections. That's an order of magnitude more than that. And now my processor it's still a couple years old at this point, but it's a lot newer than that one. So it's got several billion more electrical connections. So it's like, no, like, yeah, that's not a camera, but like it can do camera stuff.
Also, like, his argument is stupid because he's saying this is like a really convoluted, complex system. But when we design systems that functionally do the same thing, only better and more accurately, we don't need to make them as complex.
Yeah. Yeah. And
exactly.
Like, maybe this is why he's no longer in the aerospace engineering industry, because simplicity is good design. When
he's like, this doesn't have enough connections.
By the way,
but it works too bad. More connections.
4K 60 frames per second is 368 million pixels per second.
Yeah, but
just so you know.
What number did he say? I don't remember.
Has cells, like a lot of them, Jimmy.
And that's 4K. That's like, compared to that's
8K gaming is happening now at like
right.
Yeah.
Right.
But do you have any idea how many cells are in the human eye?
Which would be roughly, wouldn't that be like
so many?
That'd be about 1.2 billion per second if we were doing 8K 60 frames.
Oh my God. You have to sleep on the couch. You did this on purpose.
No, look at the look at the number on screen. That's what this is for.
Yay!
Woo! If you're just joining, give money to charity.
That's right. So
that's what I said.
How much money for Jimmy to never say viscous again to me?
It's a lot more than this audience has. I think we'd have to pool the whole audience net worth.
Yeah, we'd have to get to 100K tonight for that to happen.
I have to say viscous a lot just to explain to people which textures I will not tolerate eating. I don't want anything viscous. Yeah.
Jimmy,
what are people serving you that
I don't believe that you don't want anything viscous.
No, you're wrong. This is the hard part too, where I'm like, I'm totally willing to suck dick, but I don't want you to finish.
No, that's when you got to go deep down in the throat, so it goes past the tongue and just straight down.
Oh my God.
My gag reflex is like a fucking too much. I get a gag from a breeze, my friend.
You don't see this on my main channel.
Because you don't invite me on your main channel.
You've been on
just let alone the simple I, like they were talking about. So that's why within the evolutionary story, they're struggling to come up with this story to explain where the I came from, rather than going back to the biblical worldview, which says that God, our all-seeing God, created the I.
It came from come. If you go back,
why are you all the way you are?
that just seems to be the topic of the stream.
Are we talking about cum in our eye? It's very unpleasant.
No, we're talking about how your eye started as a lump of cum.
Oh man, I can't open my eye. I should have gone right to sleep after.
Jesus fucking Christ. What did he just say though?
Do you like rub it in your face to?
We're not rewinding.
Skincare thing.
We're not rewinding. There's no turning back. No turning back.
Too, one of the things that they talk about in this article is I always look at what verbs are they using to describe how the I evolved. And so they'll say things like, well, it evolved. And they'll say things like, and pupils arose to help improve the focus of light on the retina. Okay, arose. Right? What does that mean? Right? I mean, I'm a biologist.
And like she's I don't know what words mean, so this is wrong. So like she's just reading an article that's a summation of an entire field.
It depends what the definition of is.
This is the Mike Riddle fuzzy words thing, where he's like, oh well, if I go to a popular science article, then every time they hedge about anything, I can latch onto that and be like, see, look, they said possibly, therefore it means not really.
Right.
I have chocolate covered peanuts and watermelon taffy from Buc-ee's, and that's what's going to get me through the stream.
What's
man.
Buc-ee's?
You have no idea. It's worth the trip to just find out. Come visit me and I will take you to a Buc-ee's.
I'll go back to Texas again. For sure.
Here's the only thing I'm going to say, and it's going to make you think, well, that sounds shitty. Buc-ee's is technically a gas station.
I don't know why that sounds shitty. Like we have gas stations that have like Tim Hortons and Robin.
And where they live, gas stations sell alcohol. Where they live.
Yeah, everywhere sells alcohol. Everywhere else except Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia, you have to go to the government to get your alcohol.
No, we have to do that in Ontario as well. I mean,
you just have a government?
It's starting to roll out in grocery stores more. I think in the town I'm in, Sobeys is the only one that has it, and they don't have a good selection.
We don't have any in grocery stores. None. You have to go to the NSLC. That's the only place you can get it.
No, we go to the LCBO mostly.
Oh, okay. I
But
didn't know
our government will also hand us a can of cannabis if we want. So
that is true. We just go to the corner store and buy pot. But we need to get our liquor.
We can't get it at the corner stores, but they're just like, I live right around the corner from a dispensary, and there's another one right beside a Little Caesars, which I think was a good business decision on their part.
Do you know those like little things people put up? They look like giant mailboxes, usually with a window, and they're all around, and it's like a take a book, leave a book thing.
Oh yeah.
We have those in Texas, but with guns.
I actually believe you.
Take a gun, leave a gun.
Oh, we're only $1,394 away from the goal. We can do it. We can do it.
Last year we raised
$1,000 already, and we haven't even gotten through the first half of the fucking.
Last year we raised $40K. Just saying.
Oh,
yeah. Well, this is your goal here, man.
You said the goal.
I did. Last year there was extenuating circumstances.
Doesn't it end on Christmas?
No, it's end of November.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's got to go to the charity so that they have it in time to do good work with it.
Never mind, I won't berate
I also
you.
love that this charity has a secular event, because they say like 4 holidays and they don't mention specifically Christmas at all on their website. They talk about all different manner of cultural holidays.
Yeah, they're really good with that.
I love that.
They do have a couple programs where they work with the church for their homeless shelter.
Yeah.
But like
sometimes there's no way around it.
Yeah. Sometimes the church just cornered the market on that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are a secular charity. They don't care what religion or anything you are when you go in. You can anyone can go to them if they need food. They have programs to help people that are like running late on their bills. There are a lot of programs that they have that are just there's so many things with falling into poverty where it's like one thing leads to another, which leads to another, which leads to another. And if you stop that one thing, like, oh, I was late on my electric payment this month, and then maybe that triggered a cascade that caused you to fall into poverty, and now you are losing your home. So they'll do stuff like help with the electrical payment.
Yeah.
And so it's they do a lot to prevent people falling into poverty, and they do a lot to help people that are already there. It's a really good charity.
Yeah, I love it. I was reading up on it before we went live and last year and any other time that we've supported it. And I did there's nuanced things that I noticed about it when I was looking at it today to go through their website. And I was like, yeah, I love that they recognize that there's more than one cultural holiday. And they're not just like Christmas shit. I love it. This is probably a good time to let people who are new here know how it works. Once this story is finished, I promise the story will eventually be finished, that we are going to...
If we can stop talking about cum.
If we could... Yeah, I wish you would.
Sorry, I zoned out. Did you say you wanted to talk more about cum?
No,
I
didn't.
yes.
I'm talking about the motherfucking charity for a moment. Please. If you donate to the link that I just put in the description, you can leave a comment when you donate. Once the story is done, any comment over $10, we will read that comment, kind of like a super chat. Super chats are off because we want you to focus on donating to the charity and also listen to us maybe eventually 3.5 hours from now, get through the first story.
I feel like their fundraising organizers don't actually listen to any of my streams. Otherwise, they would have asked me by now to please stop.
It's probably better a few people stay poor.
Maybe not. Be our biggest donor.
This guy did a dick trivia night for a fundraiser. Do we really want to be associated with that? Now
he had a guy on called
cum.
Jimmy, and Jimmy said if we hit $10,000 that he'd come.
I feel like that's going to happen regardless.
I
chance that's
don't care how much we raise. I'm gonna come.
Geneticist. So what does that look like from a genetic or biological perspective? How does something arise, right? And so for evolutionists, really the two main mechanisms they have are random mutation and natural selection. That is how...
That's not two mechanisms. That's two aspects of... Yeah, that's...
Isn't this whole thing them doing the thing that they are... Everything they're doing can be summarized as the exact same fallacy. I know everyone's going to be surprised. I'm going to make a real point here. That fallacy that Curly Hair McGee made earlier, this is all wrapped up in it, where it's literally like, look at how complex this would be, but consider this other possibility that we pretend is simpler and therefore appeal to the possibility. I don't know.
The possibility fallacy, Jimmy. Way to tie it all up in a neat little bow.
Come.
Fucking Jesus, you ruined it.
Existence. And so they would say the same is true for that. But it just amazes me how when you read these things, they don't really tell you anything. They don't really tell you the biological mechanism.
Is she saying
tell
or toe?
Guys, holy shit, check the fundraiser now.
Well, okay. I gotta hit refresh. Oh my God!
We hit the goal!
Oh my God! Tyler!
What's happened?
Tyler B!
Tyler B! Oh my God!
Okay.
Before I get excited, is this Canadian money or real money?
No, it's American money.
Oh, wow! Whoa! Just kidding. That's amazing.
Wait, is it American?
All right.
No, it's Canadian. I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure it's Canadian.
It's a Canadian charity.
Oh, okay.
Don't lie.
I mean, still pretty
Don't
good.
fucking
Pretty
lie.
good. Pretty
Oh
okay.
my
then.
God. Okay, we should take a break now.
All right,
to
we'll
read
take a
them,
break.
to reward people. Guys, we hit I'm so happy. I'm so excited.
Now if you
Okay.
email the contact and get her to raise the goal.
Oh,
Now
you're
we
gonna
can
have to.
now we can all just go to bed, I guess. But
Yeah, we're done.
anyway.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming out.
So
I know what I'm
that
going
would
to
be-
do.
Jimmy's gonna come now. Yeah, I
Ew.
got it.
Whoa!
Shannon,
Too far.
Come on. Shannon.
Hostile workplace. God.
In memory of Mrs.
I'm gonna
Minor,
report that to
Rhino,
HR,
thank
Shannon.
you, Tyler B. That's amazing. Appreciate
Thank
that. We have $200 from Meridon. Keep up the good work. I love the work that all of you do. You make the world a better place, and I thank you for that. Thank you, Meridon. Appreciate that.
Oh wow, 200. That's
Are we not going to read
Um,
that $6.66 comment?
Well,
We
there's no
said
comment.
10.
I think we have to read that
Oh,
one,
Jim.
though.
All right. Well, you can
What?
read it.
Jimmy is Viscous Daddy.
Is that how it's spelled?
I don't think that's how it's spelled, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't think that's how it's spelled.
All right.
I'm going to have to look it up. I
Timothy
think it's
Harmon.
Yeah, no, it's
Never give up.
VISCOUS.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So I'm viscose daddy, which is something
Viscose
distinctly
daddy.
different.
Or as long as you're not varicose daddy, then that's good.
I'm getting old. It's happening.
Timothy Harmon joined late. Responsible drinking? Yes, we're quasi-responsible drinking
No,
tonight.
I
We're not.
refuse.
Well, we're not drinking. We're not drinking on demand at this point. We're just drinking due to Georgia Purdom.
Because I'm not in the
I'm
background
also-
to bring you shots.
I'm also only drinking wine this time instead of scotch because last time I like wrecked myself.
Yeah, that
I-
one.
I wrecked myself on a scotch that is meant to be enjoyed.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a tragedy.
Samuel Patre writes, Shannon, never give up the ghost.
I will be alive forever and never
Yeah.
hide anything. I will do neither of those things.
Scott Harpool for $500. That's amazing. Thank you, Scott. Hopefully a few dollars eases the pain of listening to whatever Ham and Egg is trying to say.
Thank you.
Happy holidays
we're
and all
not
that
listening.
merry season nonsense.
We're not listening to them. we're just looking for ways to turn whatever they said into cum jokes.
That's right.
Zoom
Have we been
2.
reviewing a video? What are you guys
Oh,
talking
we're
about?
back to. We already read the Zoom 2, please. I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
much
we're-
heathenly love to you all must have come. See,
Thank-
Vice fucked
thank-
it all up. Much heathenly
you,
love
Linda.
to you all, Linda. Thank you, Samuel.
yeah, Amy.
Zoom.
So we read those. So thank you so much. We will
Guys!
we will now
can't
consider the goal
stop
to
them.
be. We'll consider the goal what to be now, like 12,000, 15,000. I don't know.
I'm
We'll
gonna
consider-
I think you got to go 12, 5, or
15.
15. Yeah.
You're
I'm
gonna
saying
boost it to
15,
15. We've still got till the end of the month. 15.
true.
I'm emailing her now. I think there's still
Okay.
15.
Let's see. I stream on Wednesdays. There's still 2 more Wednesdays. So
15,000.
Hang on. I've gotten a DM from Vice Rhino. Didn't you say you would show feet at 10K? I don't. What?
I mean, I don't remember sending you that DM, but show feet.
No, at 15. At 15.
At 15.
At 15.
Someone donate 5K right now.
Yeah.
If I thought my feet could get 5K, we would have never met.
And if it hits 5K now, you're going to show your feet on stream, and you're going to regret ever having met us.
Yeah.
No, I've shown feet all over the place, but I'll do it. I casually showed feet on Instagram and found out why you don't show feet on Instagram.
Oh, I already knew that. Every once in a while, I check my Google stats, and the last time I did it was the first time that Shannon Q feet wasn't in the top 10 searches. The first time in like 5 years.
Nobody's
Okay.
Googling me.
That's
I
a
don't have to
long
worry
time.
about that kind of thing.
People have been searching for my feet for 5 years. I feel bad for them because I don't think that picture's out there.
The
I'm
word
sorry, guys.
people's doing a lot of heavy lifting there. It's DJs.
And
I
of
don't
course,
kink
it goes without saying we want people to don't donate money that you can't afford. Take care of yourself first, as always. We just
Of
appreciate
course.
if you're here with us and circumstances means that that you can't donate this year. That is entirely acceptable, and we honor you regardless.
But also,
and
if
we're
you
happy
don't
to have
donate,
you in
you
our
hate my
company.
children.
Stop it.
That's true. That's true.
Because my
I-
children love to see these donations come. They're going to be so excited to see that we passed $10,000.
They will.
I've just really
You
hurt
know how much
my own
more
feelings.
excited they'd be for 15,000?
So you inspired me to go look up what the top results are for if I type in Jimmy Snow.
Mhm.
The
Uh-oh.
number one result is obituary. What the fuck? What the fuck did I do to you
I almost
people
did a
that
spit
people are
I mean-
regularly Googling, not even to ask if I've died, but they want to read the in memoriam now.
I mean, for me, the 2 top results are Vice Rhino wife and Vice Rhino wife stroke. So
No,
That's-
really?
Mm.
Why?
Jimmy Snow wife is
Just
number
curiosity.
8 for me. And Jimmy Snow murdered wife number 9. And
What?
Jimmy Snow murdered Vice Rhino's wife
murdered-
number 10.
you
What the
murdered my
fuck?
wife?
Oh my god.
Okay, I won't make any more jokes.
Everybody
tonight.
stop. I would actually rather listen to Answers in Genesis, right? That's where we are.
So
That's
about that
where we
horse
are.
come, Jimmy?
Okay, so you don't want to hear how apology a wife feet is in the top for me. So all right, we'll move
No,
on.
it's not.
Is it really though? Because that would
No,
be
it's not.
hilarious.
It's, no, apology a wife is the top one. But
That's funny.
Everybody in the
That's
chat now
that's
do
'cause I'm
Google search
so
for apology a
interested.
wife feet.
We can master this SEO in a night.
I should check tomorrow morning just to see what happened.
Okay. I did just Google Pelagia white feet, and the first post is a Reddit post that says, "Can anyone here debunk the YouTube named Pelagia?"
The YouTube.
The YouTube. You are the
I-
YouTube, Paul.
I can't even get it to autocomplete Jimmy Snow feet.
Oh, the person deleted the Reddit post.
I just almost peed. Jimmy's like, somebody please search for my feet.
So too many
Or
searches for
will
Jimmy's
Google let people see my feet.
Jimmy Snow feed.
Right.
and
Festival.
Jimmy Snow feelings.
Jimmy Snow Festival? What the fuck is that? What the fuck? There's never been a Jimmy Snow Festival.
Big fuck.
What kind of results are we getting? Did you guys start a cult behind me? That'd be dope.
Yes, Jimmy. That's what it's all about. This is how we wanted to tell you. This is an intervention. Okay, let's go.
All right.
We gotta finish this one
We
story.
gotta get to this. You gotta get to this.
It's
Just
complex,
one story,
and we
one
know
story.
from studying mutations and natural selection in the present, they don't do what evolution needs them to do, right?
Well-
They don't add things, they don't make things better. They just make things worse, right? We get cancer, we get disease, things like that. So they don't really have a good explanation for this.
And not only do you have to explain using these mechanisms how you could get something that complex, but it also, they think, would have had to happen multiple different times because you
Yes,
have these complex
least
eyes
twice.
and all sorts of lineages.
Just at least 2 to 3 times. That's how many times it would. Also, why do they always say that mutations are deleterious? Why do they always just like hang their hat that 100% of the time mutations are detrimental?
They just ignore the fact that, like, what determines whether or not a mutation is detrimental or beneficial is it's almost entirely the environment
Yeah.
in which the organism
Right.
lives.
Exactly.
Like, if you get a mutation, like if you're a cat and you get a mutation for thicker fur, if you live in the desert, that's deleterious. If you
Mhm.
live in the Arctic, that's beneficial.
Right, exactly.
So, like,
And so many of them are just benign
yeah,
too.
the
Like, you get-
majority.
Yeah, are just like whatever mutations that are like
Well, that's 'cause-
nothing.
so.
Like I might have a mutation in my genetics that give me just slightly thicker fingernails or slightly thinner fingernails. That is not going to affect anything about my life, basically fucking at all.
But also there was a paper that they did a mathematical analysis of the genetic code, and based on like our just base mutation rate between generations, they determined that so like, you know how there's always kind of been this debate about junk DNA versus creationists saying that, like, oh well, just because we don't know what it does doesn't mean it doesn't do something. And then when we discovered that there were some regulatory functions in genetic areas that we thought did nothing previously, that like, oh well, you know, maybe the rest plays regulatory functions.
Yeah.
Well, so these guys they modeled it mathematically, and they discovered that with our mutation rate, in order for evolution, like in order for us to not just like completely devolve into just these mutated husks of our former selves very, very rapidly, like in order to counteract the deleterious mutations with neutral mutations, 85% of the genome has to be completely devoid of function.
Interesting.
I'm probably doing a shit job of explaining what the study is because it's been several months since I read it. But yeah, basically, it's pretty much been conclusively demonstrated that we have to have 85% junk DNA in our genome.
That's kind of interesting. Well, you're probably that's just probably the probability bias or whatever the fuck it's called. What's it? The fallacy of
Fallacy,
maybe it might happen.
If it's possible, that doesn't mean it. If it's possible, it's impossible. Whatever that. Yeah.
Can't be true.
Images that are not considered closely related. So it's not just evolving the eye once, it's getting this multiple times over, like upwards of 40. So
Obviously, we don't see
that might.
40.
I get what she's saying.
How the fuck did she land on 40? To
I
get
think-
from a photoreceptive cell to an eye takes exactly 40 mutations.
No. I think she is saying that there are 40 separate lines of separate species who have eyes that didn't evolve from the same species without eyes.
What?
I think
Yeah, so
that's actually
parallel
true.
evolution.
That's actually true.
Wait.
Basically, the eye has evolved. The eye is and wings are this way too, and many things have evolved multiple times from different lines of
Okay.
species. So it doesn't mean that they
Which is why the eyes are all different.
right, but also why like it's part of why we theorize that if we find life on other planets, it's probably going to look super familiar because a lot of things keep like it's probably about as diverse the universe's life as deep sea, ocean
Evolution
to
wants to
sky,
grab
the
that
whole
sort of-
spectrum. Yeah. It happens a lot of times. I get what you thought she said because, and I think
I
it was
thought
because we
she
broke
said
in the
that-
middle.
All right.
That there had to be 40 mutations to get from a photoreceptor
No.
to the human eye. But what you said actually, like what I thought you said was stupid.
Yeah.
But what you actually said, if it's what you're saying, is more
still stupid.
She's saying,
actually,
yeah, that
because-
seems impossible. In how long has the human
Because
eye evolved? Is it 540 million years that eyes popped up around ago?
And it's not the best version. Also, like there's
Yeah.
species of ants that can detect polarization in the atmosphere and use it for
Octopuses.
navigation. Desert ants.
Cephalopods have better eyes than we
Right.
do.
Well, okay.
Birds
So
see more colors.
now
than
I have to go back to school years and chastise you for dare saying that one version is better than another because
Yeah, no, again, it
arguably
depends on the
an octopus
environment you're
eye
in.
sucks on land,
Yeah.
like
Right.
with us.
It's
Fucking
actually-
garbage up here.
Well, the reason that is though is because the
It's because of the
environments
fluid
and
that's
the
in it.
purposes that they served were different. There was different selective pressures.
Yes, but so we could have an octopus eye that has some minor changes.
It's going fucking me. And I'm going to pee.
That's true,
Take me
by the
off
way.
Screen. I'm
Okay.
muting myself.
But okay, I don't know if Shannon can still hear, but I
Oh.
looked up the thing that I was talking about earlier. So basically, if the entire genome was functional, then because of how many mutations there are per generation, necessarily most of those would be detrimental because you
Yeah.
change a function randomly, it's going to probably cease to function. So in order to weed out all of the detrimental mutations and get to a child that has at least like not more detrimental than beneficial mutations or neutral, each couple would have to have 100 million children in order to have just a couple that aren't severely harmed by the mutations that we have in between generations. So it is
I've
physically
spilled enough
impossible.
seed to meet the quota, but I don't have that many children.
Yeah, so it's physically impossible for our entire genome to be functional. And so
Mhm.
when they pared it down, it's basically like the minimum that has to be complete junk is 85%, but it's probably more along the lines of like 92%.
The funny thing
Well,
is like the true improbables of like evolution have to do with like giant events that we don't see much of otherwise. And so it may literally just be abiogenesis. We think about it with human intelligence because we're selfish and we think we're arrogant. And so that one seems rare, like the rise of human intelligence. But all we know is we're the first ones. This is like 500. I don't remember the exact. I think 540 million is correct. Is the oldest eye that we've seen in like the fossil record that we think
That sounds right. It was sometime in the Cambrian.
And so like in that amount of time, the amount of evolution you would expect of eyes to like 40 honestly seems low. If you in 540 million years and almost every species on the planet interacts with some form of difference between light and dark. Almost all of them do. I mean, except for very deep sea and closed cave systems that have to still come from those other places originally.
Yeah,
It's-
you said come.
That's true. That's true. Viscous.
Okay. Now on that note, so I wasn't aware that the stream was going to happen until like 4 hours ago.
Nor
So
were
I
we.
didn't really plan on this. So I do have to get going. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for helping me pass the goal here. That was fantastic.
$10,324.66.
I kind of wish that had happened on my stream, but I'm still appreciative of it.
I'll
Well,
take
now
credit.
you can hit the bigger goal on your stream.
Yes.
That's right. You can. hit
I
the
have
bigger-
emailed her up. I've emailed my contact to update it to 15,000. So thank you so much for helping out with that. Hopefully, without me feeding off of Jimmy here, there will still be lots of cum conversation for the rest of the
I'm
video.
I'll be feeding
No,
on
no,
cum
no.
all night, my guy.
All right. So I'll see you guys
All right,
later.
sir.
Thanks so much.
See you
Thanks
later.
for joining us. Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Can somebody queue up a reason for me to talk about the evolution of an anglerfish? Because I've just found this clip that looks exactly like an anglerfish. What the fuck is this? Oh,
Is that part of your cord maintenance? Because you should probably put it where it fucking goes then.
it's a guitar tuner.
Is that like a capo? No, it's a tuner.
No. You put it on the end, and it hears the vibrations
no, I know
instead
what
of
a
the
guitar
actual
tuner
note.
is. Like, literally,
Yeah.
there's a guitar behind me, Jimmy. I know what a fucking guitar
Wow.
tuner is.
Anyway, you mount it to an anglerfish.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Gorgeous.
All right. Well, maybe
Zero.
we can get further along in this. We'll see.
Maybe.
I was waiting for some kind of fun.
I had to
Knew
throw
it
it
would
out
come
there.
there somewhere.
Well,
Yeah.
they even said at one point our understanding of the evolution of the compound eye, so that's like the eye that they find in flies, is a bit murky. I would say it's a bit fuzzy.
I see what you did there.
Got that
Oh,
one.
boy.
Okay.
I don't get that joke.
But they do talk about how, like, it's funny because it's like, okay, so
What was
I
that?
don't get their stupid joke.
No.
Are they trying to say that compound eyes see things fuzzy? Is that what they're trying to say?
I think they're trying to scream, relate to us.
Look at our rapport. Look at our forced rapport.
what's
that's
next
not
in the
opened up.
evolution of the eye, like for human beings, because we have all this tech that we're using, and how might the eye evolve again? Well, the example that they use, they say, well, one thing we're noticing is there's a lot of myopia that's developing in children, which is the inability to see far away. And
That's
I'm thinking,
nearsightedness, yeah.
how is that helpful? Like, how is that a good thing that's happening, right? That's a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's not it.
Humans are no longer part of natural selection. We're just not.
Yeah, but it doesn't even
Humans-
matter.
Like natural selection doesn't. Yeah, glasses doesn't matter. We're not out there like being eaten by lions. We don't need good eyesight to live at this point. So, and we have ways to correct. Yeah. So
And
we
also,
have
most
ways-
of what we do is closer
right.
to our faces.
This is
Nah,
Long
I'm
my-
giving up.
long my
I'm
thing.
defeated. They win. It's all right.
Fuck
God's
evolution.
real. I got nothing for this.
all right.
Evolution
You're going
into
the
something
opposite direction.
new and
Yeah.
better, it's getting worse, right?
don't
And
see
so, so they don't. I don't think they use a very good example.
No, especially because they said that the myopia is from looking at screens, which is something that's not genetic. So you're not going to pass that on to your
Exactly.
kids anyway. So it can't be evolution no matter what.
I'm sorry. Who claimed that myopia was a positive evolutionary change? Because
Nobody did. Somebody made a mundane observation that they're seeing more of it, and then they misconstrued it on purpose to present it as though that is a thing that's happening because evolution bad.
right. Did they go to like a science fair and a fucking meth lab? What is?
It's also they're contradicting themselves too because they're saying, well, evolution can't be true because our eyes are changing. So
The
and
things
when
our
that
eyes-
happens, it's bad.
Right.
Which means that mutations and things that would lead to evolution are always bad.
The things our eyes evolved to do is be able to change shape to adapt to certain situations. That's the evolutionary feature. Now the fact is we've changed so rapidly, much quicker than any evolution has to catch up on our daily common use of our eyes, that they're changing fucking shape wrong, and more commonly in other people. But we're also good at keeping people alive even when they're fucking like, imagine if you have a genetic blindness gene, you're still probably going to be able to stay alive and have children. So these, like Paul said, we've escaped natural selection in the first fucking place. We're not doing it anymore.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if we can finish this story.
Over an
Which
hour
way you
later.
slice it, really.
Yeah, it was great because I was reading this article really close, I was like thinking, oh, well, I wonder if this is happening to my eye right now.
Oh boy.
Am I
Yeah.
evolving?
But in the end, they don't really give any. All they do is have some nice pictures, and you really have to, when you see things like that, you've got to question, right?
Meanwhile, come to our arc with all the nice pictures
Have you seen our plaques
on the wall.
We have so many plaques.
How do they know? What is the mechanism they're proposing from going to one to the other? Because it looks really maybe simplistic when you look at it that way. But in reality, when you think about all the genetic changes, all the chemical changes, everything that would be necessary for that to happen, it's just not possible, right? For that to happen by random chance, even if you gave it lots of time, because again, mutations and natural selection don't do what the evolutionists need them to do. So this is a fantasy
Because random
story.
chance
It
is
is, yeah.
like random chance is totally a good faith representation of the force that is natural selection. Like
Correct. Yes.
that's super like fucking way accurate.
But natural selection only selects, Jimmy. Don't you understand this? It only selects. It doesn't
And
create.
mutations are only bad. So natural
And
selection
mutations are only bad.
only selects things that aren't mutating, because when they mutate, they're bad 100% of the time.
I'm gonna throw away all my sex toys now that I'm a Christian. I got a lot of cleaning up to do tonight.
I know. I'm sorry. And you were
Ugh.
supposed to come, and now that's over.
Oh
Sorry.
my God, porn! No, no.
I'm sorry.
Damn it.
Mm.
I'm really sorry. They just make really good points. I'm
Sorry,
this
everyone.
charity's been ruined your entire life.
My OnlyFans won't be launching tomorrow now. I'm sorry.
Damn it.
I'm
bad.
sorry.
And it's impossible, like we were saying, the evolutionary worldview, whereas the biblical worldview, Proverbs 20:12 says, the hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord has made them both. So that's
Well,
what we need
that
to
does that
focus
then.
ourselves on.
That fucking
Wow.
solves that
They
problem.
should have opened. They should have opened
Right?
with that. What were we even doing?
We wasted so much time. We raised whatever we raised, under a false pretense.
That's right.
Really, like if he had just said the Bible says, we wouldn't have had to go through all of this nonsense.
Wait, so can I
didn't know
never
it.
damn, my prostate will never be touched again.
Nope.
Fuck.
Well, no.
Maybe the
when
doctor
you're-
will still touch it.
When
a
you're
bad night.
like prostate exams are still okay.
Okay. I'm gonna get a lot of prostate exams.
So many. Just a full docket of
Just a-
prostate exams every other Tuesday.
Tons.
All right, Mr. Snow, it's good to see you here. It's
Thanks.
a comfortable friend. Wait, do I smell cologne?
That's right. Jimmy, we've been over this. You don't have to tip me.
Oh my God. Is this story
Definitely.
done?
Okay. Can churches balance diversity?
It is. We're
Oh,
done.
God
One
damn
story.
it. God damn it. God damn. Okay, good. Well, now let's
Okay,
read some of
so
the things.
first we're gonna read the. That's right.
gonna
Well,
read the
first we're gonna
things.
read the donation.
I'm pretty
stuff, and then
enticed by that next video, though.
Well, we have a
we
decision
will.
to
We
make
have to
once
read
that's-
the things first.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So first we got. Let's go here. We got the $1,200 one is easy to mark. So we have Amanda A. I love pretending to know all of you. You kind of do parasocially. Welcome.
Mhm.
Please never stop taking the piss out of AiG. Oh shoot! I didn't hit my thing.
That sneeze was in a different language. What the fuck was that?
All right, that's my German Mennonite coming out there.
That's gotta be.
All right, I love pretending to know all of you. Please never stop taking the piss out of AiG and their ilk. Yeah, my mute button wasn't close enough nearby. Sorry. That guy, Jimmy better deliver the goods. Oh, well,
God,
not
what
now
is-
because he's a Christian. So now the feet promises are off the table, I would say, for God.
Is there a verse in the Bible that says anything like "bearest thy feet"? There's got to be,
Oh,
right?
probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I
yeah,
know.
no, because I mean, God tells Moses, well, take off your sandals. This is holy ground. So, holy ground
I am
is
willing-
bare feet.
At $15,000, I'm willing to let a nomadic Jewish man, bearded, handsome, wash my feet. That's
Very
like
good.
the Bible.
Jimmy
So-
pretending he would not do that for free is adorable.
Oh yeah, I'd pay him.
I have that on Fiverr right now. I don't know. All right. What a marvelously motley crew. AiG is logically phallus. See? Thank you, laughing weenus. Okay. So
Well-
that was the donation since last we read them. So here's the decision we have to make.
Okay.
We have there's 7 stories total. We've been through one.
Mm-hmm,
This one This one is called "Can Churches Balance Diversity Inclusion with Being Biblical and Spirit-Filled?" So there's that.
I mean, I'm
but
enticed, but I also understand the optics of maybe us three white people should take on this diversity topic.
Right. Well,
I get the optics. I see that.
but then the next one after that, I'm just saying. So, sports star jailed 10 months for transphobic message that God created Adam and Eve. I feel
my fucking fucking.
I feel might be more
fuck.
spicy to the. And then there's several. I'm not going to spoil after that. I'm just thinking maybe let's skip the diversity one.
All right.
Because that's an internal topic, right? Like churches
Yeah.
having their own diversity, that's not really up to us.
There have been many boardrooms that look a lot like this here that said, let's just skip the diversity. I agree.
Okay, well, so Jimmy wants to do the diversity one.
I'm just kidding. I'm fine.
All right. You're
Inclusion
just busting
with
my
being
chops.
biblical.
All right, fair enough.
I was
All right,
making it
let's
damned
go.
if you do, damned if you don't.
That's true. It's true.
It's like, oh, the 3 white people should take on diversity. Oh, the 3 white people want to skip diversity? Tisk,
Yeah, there's no
tisk.
one, yeah.
No. The 3. What we want to do is have the 3 cis people
That's right.
take on
The
trans
trans issue. That's one of those ones where as long as you're allied, because it's hard because sometimes you have to do that because cis people won't listen to trans people. You have to.
That's true.
The way you get to them is often has to be that middle ground of, okay, I'm a cis person, hear me out.
Isn't that fucking bullshit though? It's so stupid.
Yeah, pretty horrible.
That shouldn't have to be the case.
I'm half the time I'm fucking trying to speak to other men, just going like, guys, we can be nice to women. You don't have to neg shit. Like, it's fine.
You need to talk to more guys. Based on my YouTube channel comments, you are not doing your job.
I am trying my hardest.
All right, let's hear what their great take is going to be on this.
With his own standard, he elevates his own thoughts above God's infallible word.
Yep.
Yes, I do. Every day.
Okay,
all day.
so in a kind of related article, sports star jailed 10 months for transphobic message that God created Adam and Eve. So this is about, I'm going to make sure I get his name right. Oh, pronouncing this may not be good, but
Yes, how
he's
you
a Greek
identify
soccer
matters.
legend
It's
or
very
football
important
legend,
to
but
get
we
it
would
right,
call
you fucking bitch. God, fucking
soccer.
Yeah.
Vasalis.
Football, is that how they say it?
T-S-I-A-R-T-A-S. I won't even try to pronounce that.
Say
but-
that 10 times fast.
Yeah. So basically, he had a couple Facebook posts in which he quoted Genesis 1:27 and was helping people understand that this is the definition, of marriage. This is the definition of gender. This is the basis, the foundation by which we need to say what is happening in the culture right now is wrong. And for that, he received a 10-month suspended
I don't
prison
believe that was his fucking post at all. I don't believe that was his post. I don't believe that was his post. Do we know what his post actually said?
We could look it up.
Because I think that's bullshit. I don't think that he was like, this is what I think marriage is, and this is what I think gender is, and I love the Bible. And they were like, go to jail!
No, it's always A to B.
Go to jail right the fuck now! I don't believe that's the case.
I also just don't believe there's currently a country that would jail anyone for transphobia.
Right. Yeah, I don't think so either. Especially a country where soccer's or football. What did he say? Football. They call it football. That, like, where
All I know is I don't know what of these things are like legitimate news sites in Greece because I spend very little time on their news sites, but this one words it as sentenced by single member misdemeanor court of Athens to 10 months in prison. He also received a 5,000 euro suspend fine for his transphobic post, as though they're two separate things. But I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. I'm still looking.
So it says Sartis has uploaded a comment on his Facebook page wishing that the children of MPs who had voted in favor of the bill would be the first to use it and change their sex. Like, what is that? Or is that a different person?
I don't know.
No, that's him.
Like, until I would like to know exactly what the fuck happened. Because I don't believe that he was just like, this is what I think the Bible says. And they were like, go the fuck to jail. Because if that is the case, that's not good.
Oh, so all right. So this was a bill. He was trying to discuss a bill that allowed teenagers as young as 15 the right to decide for themselves whether to undergo a sex change surgery.
Okay.
And then in the subsequent post, he commented that God had created Adam and Eve.
Okay. ...
I'm presuming like without the Adam and Steve thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like that happened well after he was charged for other things. Like according to this, again, it's hard to know if the FEMA Newscom in Greece is a
What's this guy's
reliable
name?
source or not.
Let's look.
I'm gonna try. Let me try this one.
This is
from
an
Chris-
exercise in real time in skepticism.
So it's TSIAR Tesiartis. TSIARTAS.
I can probably
AS?
trust ChristianPost.com, right?
Oh yeah, they're good.
I'm doing this so there's not dead air.
Right.
Meow 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 meow.
Hey, look, my voice is funny. Boom, 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 boom.
It's a suspended sentence. Transphobic comments on social media. Former footballer, Greek national team, was sentenced to the single-member misdemeanor court of Athens to 10 months in prison and €5,000 euro fine for his transphobic social media comments. This is from 2017. Richard there's an anti-racism law which was amended in 2014. So it's president just recalled. I don't know. I just don't want to I don't know how much I can trust this news site either.
There's literally I have no basis upon which to know. And the fact that this didn't make world news and Jordan Peterson isn't tweeting about it every 10 seconds.
Yeah, it makes me feel like
makes me even
weird
more
about it.
skeptical. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see what Answers in Genesis has to say about it.
It's
and
not
a
anywhere on his
suspended fine
ESPN
of
bio.
5,000 euros. So what does that mean? Like, as far as I know, you were looking into that a little bit.
So from how I've heard it explained, as a suspended sentence is you're not in jail, but you're kind of in this stage that if you say anything during that time, you will go to jail for the rest of that. So it's almost kind of like when Daniel heard about that law that you weren't allowed to pray. It was like that. So you can not be in trouble so long as you do exactly what they tell you to do.
Yeah. And sadly, this is
this like me on my Twitter channel right now where I linked to a website they didn't like, but if I do another thing, so that was a warning. So if I do another thing, I'll be in trouble, but I'm not actually in trouble right now. Is that what?
I mean, in fairness, I finally found an American website that covers it, and it's looking true. This is from Breitbart. Breitbart seems to be the only American outlet to cover
rock solid.
it. Damn, we're just taking L after L tonight.
Wow.
happening all over the world right now. It's not just in Greece. And really, this is only going to get worse. I mean, over the years, unless we push back, it's only going to get worse. We need to make sure that we're preparing ourselves, equipping ourselves against this attack. And I just think about so much for the tolerance that they always keep saying, right? We just want to have tolerance for our beliefs. But really, are they being tolerating of our beliefs then? Obviously not. And so you think about it, it's really like just the
I really should have, like, after I have For the Bible Tells Me So, you know, that it's not on my Stream Deck. I have that button ready to go, but I really need to have like some intolerance paradox button ready to go with the.
Yeah. Why aren't they tolerating our intolerance? That's how dare they?
modern day blasphemy laws.
I don't have a catchy theme for the tolerance paradox. That's what I need. Shannon, you can inspire me with a tolerance paradox theme song.
I'm annoyed.
Yeah, go for it.
Like, super annoying.
If you speak against that, it's like kind of like their sacred cow that they've tried to elevate.
And
what I've noticed
the paradox of intolerance, like that you're
that's
intolerant
what
of my
we're-
intolerance.
Yeah, that was exactly what he pulled out of his. He's the very first one to think of it.
Yeah,
You're
no
not
one's ever
tolerating
thought of
my
that.
intolerance.
Yeah.
All right.
What was interesting in this article, basically they say that, you know, Christians, they have the right to practice their faith, but only if it does not conflict with the rights of others, such as LGBTQ provisions. Now, first off, I want to say that rights are actually...
real quick. As far as like, I'm doing my best to find whatever I fucking can here.
Yeah.
And multiple of these places have said, the Transgender Support Association has said, so I went and I looked up what that is. And the first thing you're going to find is that it's very hard to find any organization called that. However, you can use Equaldex and you can find that there's a Greek association by that name. And you can go to their website, and then you've got a search where you can search all of their journals, which is the same as blogs for them, for key terms. And if you type in the name of this soccer player, you get 0 results. So I don't know what they're quoting if it's not even in their own fucking journals and you can't find it on I don't know. Fucking seems pretty sus to me.
Like, I just wish I could find an English version of the actual ruling.
Yeah.
Like,
I have a feeling it's going to surround the part where he's talking about he hopes that the people who pass this, that it'll be, if there's anything, it'll be that he's using his public platform to say, go give sex changes to the kids of the people who pass this.
right. That he hopes that he said,
Which is
something
hate
along the line.
speech.
Yeah. And also his sentence was suspended. I just don't know. Like, I don't trust Answers in Genesis to give us the actual details framed appropriately. And I don't have access to the information. And I don't want to just say, oh, well, obviously they're full of shit because of who they are, because then I'm no fucking better than them. Because if he did go to jail for 10 months over just saying this is what he believes, that's not cool.
Right. Yeah. No one here would defend that.
Right.
Well, maybe Paul.
Yes.
Paul. If anybody, it would be Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody.
But I go to this website where that they're quoting as saying like, this is a big win and da da da. And even if I just type in the first name, Vasilis, not only do I not get results with Vasilis, I can't get a fucking result about vas deferens. So it's like, they don't got shit.
And it's from 2017. So like,
well, it sounds like the indictment would have come down now that the incident was in 2017. I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm having a fun time trying to figure out a Greek website. That's the joy I'm having.
Just throw it in Google Translate. That never goes wrong.
You can just right click and do, you can right click it and do translate to English.
While we're all Googling, reminder that this session of 3 people Googling is brought to you for charity.
Yeah,
this is charity Googling.
Put the link back in the description.
Yeah, exactly. So vicerhino.donate. It's on the screen. We're here for the the Share Niagara Falls Project Share charity in memory of Mrs. Rhino. Thank you. So everyone for donated. Once this story is done, we will be reading all of your donation messages. So if any of you are willing and able, if you're able to donate, don't. If you are not able, don't worry about it. But if you are, let us know. And when we're done Googling, we will figure this out. And
you should have known this was going to happen.
Oh no, this is great. I think this is good. This is all that's on Pelagia right now. So they're stuck.
Yeah.
Like really,
Christian.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, if anything, this is an exercise in how skepticism should be. Like, you hear a claim and you're like, that doesn't sound quite right. Let's go find out.
Right.
If it is or isn't right. And you picked like the 2 worst people, because now Jimmy and I are going to be obsessed about this for days.
Nah, I've already moved on. I'm taking the side they're saying I'm taking. Just imprison all the Christians.
Forever and ever.
That's right. Just
throw
throw
anything that we don't like. In all
just
the
be
countries.
prepared.
Let's
that's
all be
how. Sorry, Olivia. Vice Rhino was here, but we sprung this on him in the last minute, so he couldn't stay as long as the rest of us. The rest of us, we don't have social lives, so we're good.
Yeah, he got upset because I kept bringing up viscous fluids.
No, I don't. I think that was his favorite part. Actually, I'm the one who was not.
Yeah, here you
Someone
are.
said about viscous fluids. Let's not be pointing fingers around.
But he was here when we hit the goal, which is exciting.
He was, in fact,
He was here when we hit the goal.
That's right.
And we ideally, if we can get to 15K without him, then again
we haven't. I just refreshed again, and we haven't had a single donation since we started doing our research.
Okay,
so evidently,
so
this is boring and nobody cares.
Apparently, the
tuning
Googling
out.
is not inspiring
Us
people.
trying to find out the truth is not what people are interested in.
Well, let's move to further transphobia then. Off we go.
Wait, did you say there's a fat phobia one?
Transphobia. But there might be fat phobia. We'll stick with this one for now, and then I'll let you know when this one's done what the upcoming stories are.
I feel like I doubt we even need to watch the rest of the story, because the rest of the story is going to be like, look how we're being oppressed. What did we ever do? We weren't mean to trans people. We're very understanding. Why can't everyone just live in harmony? And then they're going to go out and put on their hoods, and they're going to march through fucking the streets and just like, no, trans people, you don't exist. Eradicate the monsters. That was the quote from this week's rally. Fucking like, you all know what you're doing in this fucking victim complex of like, so what if we said we wanted to non-consensually change the sex of children whose parents voted for a bill we disagree with? I mean, that's just us. Why aren't you tolerating it?
Yep. Sounds about right.
All right. So do we want to skip does it mean you want to skip the rest of this story? Is that what I'm hearing?
It's up to you. I'm terribly bored with it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then that's fine. So let's read Shannon said we had no fundraiser goal.
We have one more. We have at least one more donation since the last time we read.
Okay. So let's check that. And then do you guys trust me to pick the next?
We got another donation since last time I refreshed. Yay!
Oh, okay.
It's exciting.
Oh, sorry. So we got Timothy Harmon says hard no on anyone's feet. Sorry, Shannon, or body fluids, viscous or otherwise. Thank you, Timothy.
I'm on your team.
I believe that's pronounced hard no.
Hard no.
Hi, Eric.
And Eric Mishma says, I've been sad. Hanging out with you all helps. Well, we are pleased to
Thank you, Eric.
Alleviate some sadness, and please hang with us, everyone. And I hope you're encouraging each other in the chat in some way or another, or at least challenging ideas.
Jimmy's back zoomed in.
Encouraging each other to donate. That's right. You didn't donate long enough.
Made him do.
Now you can see the result of me never exfoliating.
So we are.
I talked to you about that. You need to.
I know
exfoliate.
you did. Look how good my skin is. You're just jealous.
Oh my god.
I got that good
4K cut in.
Now.
Okay, so we're I think we're now shooting for like 12.
Take it out of the. Is that in a wrapper?
No.
That's just what it looks like.
It's taffy.
But it's
never
got like a painting on it. No.
It's a watermelon.
No.
It's a watermelon.
It is a watermelon. I see that now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you guys trust me to pick the next story, or should we vote on the next story?
Oh my fucking god! I don't trust anybody with anything. Stop doing that! No.
Here we go.
Stop it.
Oh, this is a new view. I didn't know about this one. All right, well, that didn't work because I'm.
You pressed all the buttons. Did you take note?
Well, it's only found like we were.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to where the story that I think might be interesting for this group.
Amanda says, Jimmy, how drunk are you? Amanda, you didn't hear. Jimmy's straight edge. I'm so straight edge, I don't even wear condoms.
He's also a Christian now.
That's
He's
true.
A Christian now yeah.
The straight edge stuff is true.
Because of how many cells there are in the eye. And the Bible says that God made eyes. So now Jimmy's
while we start this story, I'm going to be pouring myself more rum and Coke because that's just the way.
Does that mean that this is just going to keep running?
No. I'm staying here. I brought rum.
Okay, because I was about to have a fit. Okay.
I'm
was like,
I'm
don't
show
leave
producer / self bartending, so it's all good.
Would you like a piece of candy, Shannon?
Not anymore.
When you kind of look beneath the surface, it's like, oh, there really isn't anything to that.
Yeah.
So. All right. I don't
focus on
believe in God. Congressman's new proclamation sparks secularist claim others in Congress will be following in his footsteps. So this is about Jared Huffman, who's a California representative, and
this
he
an
was
old
speaking
story
at the
too?
Freedom from Religion Foundation. So shock of all shocks. He said, because
I thought this was an old story as well.
That doesn't mean, Paul, you're on mute. You are on mute. You're on mute. You're still on mute. You're muted.
I see that. So, I mean, so this is the newest episode of their news show that they've got, but it is 4 days old. So
I just thought that event happened like years ago that they're talking about.
Well, the
Oh.
last story was from 2017, so that may be true.
What did they say the guy's name was?
So let me see. It's from
Something Huffman.
the article they based on is from FaithWire. It is Congressman Jared Huffman from California.
Good old Jared.
All right.
Now let's commence the Googling.
I googled.
He's from California, and yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so he
They do when
mentions it, but it wasn't a revelation. Because like he says,
Right.
as many of you know, I'm the token humanist in Congress.
Yeah,
So they're just freshly upset over this guy who
because he's still admitting that he's an atheist.
Because he's no longer he's not ashamed anymore of being an atheist.
Right.
And anyone who's in politics who is an atheist should be ashamed, apparently.
truly.
Shall be shit.
I invited him on what he was going to say, basically, that he believes that he is the token humanist in Congress and that he wants to help other people that identify as non-religious. Now, here's the
Good for
important
him.
thing to remember.
That's awesome. That's great. Like what are we predicting they're going to find wrong with that?
They're gonna pretend that nobody cares. They're gonna say like nobody gets upset if you're free to not. That's what it's gonna be. They're gonna pretend that it isn't a big deal for that representation to exist.
I don't think that's going to be it. I think that it's going to be that atheists are against biblical principles, and it's super important right now because of things like abortion and gay marriage that we rally against this. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I think it'll be.
You already saw it.
No, I haven't seen this far. I
Okay.
have not seen this far.
Okay, what do you think it's going to be then?
So I think it'll be more along the lines of, don't we remember the good old days, which we will not define, somewhere between 1950 and 1965,
Mm-hmm.
when no one would dare
Admit they were
say
an
this
atheist.
kind of thing out loud. You wouldn't say this, and we need to renew the giving to Answers in Genesis, because us versus them,
Okay,
they're now so emboldened that they can just come right out and say it.
I'll be
That's-
interested to read the chat later to see if anybody has predictions, or the comment section to see who was betting on which one of us, and also
That's right.
if anybody had the right prediction.
Although here's an interesting comment. Just randomly, it's an interesting comment
Who's that?
for no reason.
Who's Cameron
He
Bertuzzi?
doesn't exist in my.
That's a good question, and one you
Periphery
can
even.
Google later.
God damn it.
No one is non-religious. Okay, everyone.
No one is.
religious.
Oh, I was way off base. I should have known atheism is a religion. How did we miss it?
Yeah, we missed the obvious
How
option.
did we miss it? Atheism is a religion. We're all sexual humanists. Fuck. I'm
real stupid.
disappointed in myself, actually.
Yeah.
Damn it. Atheism is a
Religion is a set of beliefs and values that you have. So even atheism
No, it is. Oh my god.
It is. Totally is. If there's anything that I've experienced since I've been a public atheist, is that all of us think basically the same way, and we agree on it.
But they said the religion is the set of values of people. Isn't that what you just said? That religion means set of
it's a
values.
group of values that people have, or something.
No,
like
it's literally a collective worship of something superhuman. Fucking, I mean, I do worship dead ass, but whose ass do I even mean? Who knows?
Paul's. Everybody knows it's Paul's.
I was literally just gonna say, JK, Jimmy's a titty guy, but nobody cares about titty guys anymore.
Diamond doesn't.
religion. It's a belief that there is
No, the
no
opposite.
God.
It's all about ass these days. It's not dime a dozen titty guys. Nobody likes titties anymore. I don't know what the fuck their problem is.
Me and
It's
you
all
are in
about
very
ass.
different social circles.
Yeah, we're not in the same circles.
I'm telling you, this is the fucking decade of the ass. Look it up. It's like
will
it's
not.
like I think it's like 8. Just type in
Nope.
ass versus
No.
titties and click the first result.
I
it's
will
like
not.
it's like 8
I
to 1.
What
I
do
spend
you
so
do
little
with your
time worrying
time?
about what other people are attracted to.
Look at titties. You should see what a pervert Instagram Reels thinks I am, and they're right.
I was like, thanks.
I'm
It's
getting
an
a lot of MILF.
algorithm.
I'm getting a lot of MILF
Mathematical
dances on my Insta reel. A lot of dancing MILFs. After about
Okay,
4
so
or 5
that's-
minutes, I get never mind. Go ahead.
No,
sorry.
nobody cares. Play.
It was-
I'd rather
that
listen to
one-
Georgia.
We need to
I'd
understand
That one was
people
going to
say,
go too
well, I don't
far.
want your religion, or that's being too religious. Everybody's religious. Everybody has that set of beliefs and values, and so that is going to inform then. Because one of the things he said was that, well, I don't believe.
No.
If you just have beliefs or values
at all.
at all.
And the
That's
funny thing is,
religion.
it doesn't even matter what her definition of religion is. If she were to come and present a different one, it wouldn't matter if that wasn't the definition that was being used by the speaker and the people there, what they were expecting to understand that definition to be.
Right.
It's so funny the way people think they get to decide. First of all, I don't even think that, maybe it is, and I'll look. Maybe that is considered an alternative definition, but you don't get to decide which definition another person was using. And when you put it in context of what is happening, so let's see, I've got Merriam-Webster up. A personal set or institutionalized system of religious attitudes, beliefs, and practices. Well, there we have the word religious in the definition of religion, so we're already fucked, so we can skip that one. But again, okay, so what's a religious attitude?
Durkheimian model is probably closer to what she's talking about. Is Emil Durkheim's model of religion.
Yeah, 2A, the service and worship of a god or supernatural. 2A2, commitment or devotion to religious faith or observance. Holy shit, Merriam-Webster, are you this bad at this? You keep putting the word in the definition. Fuck you guys. The state of a religious, a cause, principle, or system of beliefs held with andor and faith. All right, so we're still not there because faith isn't. And then for the archaic is scrupulous conformity. That's like the closest to a non-faith-based definition of any of them. And that's the archaic use of the term.
You'd also have to press her on like what are the belief systems then? Because they never define it, they never articulate it, they never mention what it is because they can't, because they know whatever definition they provide is not going to be broad enough to cover the entire breadth of what non-belief is.
Right.
And that's not what they're interested in. They're interested in framing it as though we're the same as them. We all have beliefs that are not founded on that are scrupulous, right? That aren't founded on anything like solid. Atheists are no different than us, except for we have the truth and love of God. Like they're not actually based on logic and reason. They're not actually based on, science and philosophy. It's an entire belief system that's mostly based on them wanting to sin. Yeah, but that's a much deeper argument than like what's important here, which is, again, you don't get to decide the definition of another person's language. Like if I hand 2 cups of fruit juice to a child, you don't get to put me in prison because I make the confession I gave punches to a kid. Like you don't get to. Yeah. Sure. I like that point. Good point. Thanks. I just wanted to say I punched a kid. Yes, I know, but also it was a good point. Like we can talk about that later. Yeah. I only wanted to say it. That later. I don't actually want to punch any kids. I just wanted to say it. I like doing context exercises with people.
I believe my religion is all that important to the people I represent. And I'm like, well, it should be, right? Because why should it be? Why? Say it out loud. Give up the ghost.
Yeah, like in a political context, it should make no difference. It should be shared virtue and shared policy. That's all.
There's Christians that I share a lot of political and social alignment with. Right. Some more so than atheists, in fact. But like when it comes to religion shouldn't enter it, period, at all. Unless somebody religious is being persecuted and we're counteracting that. Like it just shouldn't enter the picture. Like you shouldn't care. You shouldn't have to care. And if you have to care, it's probably because they're utilizing their religion and that like in their political sphere, and that's an impediment to society, and that's why you should care. That's the only instance when you should have to care.
Does Georgia come from? Do we know her background? Does she come from a religious family? Like, are her
Yes.
parents, who I assumed are named Delaware and Virginia.
That's right. Yeah.
Because this is all super.
her father Minnesota Purdom.
She
Her mom,
yeah,
Ohio.
that's right. Her mom, or her mom, Idaho, right? Right.
You get that, everybody? Everybody get that?
Thank you for asking them. No, but all of these arguments are like the shallow. To me, these all seep of that, like, as I assume a lot of people have had Sunday school experiences where you're like hearing from the community and people are like, yeah, and I talked to this non-believer and I said, well, then why do you have faith in doctors? And everyone in the cafeteria stood up and clapped, and the atheist fell to his knees and cried forth, no, I can never massage my prostate again.
Good tie back. Well done. Good call.
This story has
Yeah.
this kind of shit.
It does.
How you believe reflects in how you lead and what you do. And so if it isn't important, that's a shame, right? But because it should be.
Yeah, it's something that we say all the time, like Georgia was saying, it's everyone's religious, and when someone says that they're non-religious, that's just a fancy way of saying that they're a humanist. And what that means is you elevate your own opinion, your own thoughts above God and his.
No.
Whoa!
No, I'm fine with
Off
that.
the rails. If so,
I'm not fine with that being the definition of humanism, but I definitely
Exactly.
elevate my opinion to be above God's, for sure.
Right.
sure.
But we're not. I don't think. Yeah. As a humanist, I'm not just accepting everyone who doesn't have an idea.
and not every atheist is a humanist. Like, if they actually said humanism is a set of beliefs, like, they're not synonyms, right? Because humanism definitionally is like an established, laid out, publicized doctrine. Like
Right.
that, the humanism, there's an
Yep.
it's an organized doctrine. So like they could get closer if they didn't attempt to, if they disambiguated more and didn't try to infuse all of atheism into the definition of humanism as though they're synonymous. They'd have even a better point, I think, because humanism is a belief system. Definitionally, it's a belief system.
Right.
But not all atheists are humanists. Not
I don't
all
know what's
atheists are
happening in live chat. All I know is that Soren Alexander just said, I saw Harry Potter's pee-pee on Broadway. And whatever led to that, I'm a fan
Oh,
of.
he saw Daniel Radcliffe and Eckes.
Very jealous.
You didn't know that Daniel Radcliffe was in Eckes?
I don't know. I just said I was jealous that he saw his pee-pee.
Oh,
'Cause I gotta-
it would have, because it was in the context that he would have seen his PP. I don't know that maybe you would still be jealous. He was fucking a horse in that play.
Okay, well, that's not great, but I can pretend the horse isn't there. Also,
I can pretend the horse is me. That's what I heard.
everybody who still thinks they're straight, go watch Daniel Radcliffe perform the song "She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain," and good luck staying straight, my friends. Oh my God.
Do you mean everybody or just like the boys?
Well,
I'm already not straight, so
your orientation will become Daniel Radcliffe. Is what I'm saying. And that ain't straight, no matter who you are.
we're gonna need some kind of label for that, right?
Right. That's right. That's right.
All right.
okay. A few more minutes.
Word
of this.
to be able
It's
to
almost 1
determine
a.m.
right from wrong, morality, and all these different things. And that's why I thought it was so interesting in here. Basically, they were basically saying promoting public policy formed on the basis of reason and science and moral values. And I'm thinking, wait a minute.
Sanctimonious tone of voice, like that's a bad idea. Reason, science. Could you imagine what kind of world would we live in if politicians use reason and science?
What gross.
Yeah, I know. Ew,
These values
God,
from-
God.
You don't get them from a humanistic, atheistic worldview. You only get that from the biblical worldview, only by the Bible, because you think about it, reason and knowledge and logic, those are non-material things, but in the material universe, you can't have those things. So essentially what they're doing is they're secretly...
Yes,
big words.
Well,
Big words coming from a man wearing a polyester blend. Fuck face.
So is what he's trying to do is he like presupping right now? Is he saying you need to borrow from the Christian worldview in order to have reason and knowledge and understand what values are?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this is just presupping.
Can we make the phrase pre-supple at the teat of Christianity a thing?
It is now. That just fucking happened. It just happened. We were all
That's going on a shirt right over the titties.
Do it.
Yeah.
Borrowing that stuff from the biblical worldview and then using it against us. So that's what we're seeing over and over again. And
yeah,
I
we
did
were
like
definitely
the fact that you
borrowing
said
from
at
the
the end here-
biblical worldview when we said that slavery is immoral. God, because all of those slavery is immoral verses, we just stole them. Oh, fuck, right. Oh, damn.
Right. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Awkward.
Oh,
Super
man.
awkward.
Remember all the times that we were like, hey, guys, don't check the Bible because we're about to advocate for consent and it will not shut up about consent.
Yeah. The Bible never stops talking about a woman's right to
Hey,
choose anything.
Someone wrench me because someone just said, Shannon, please stop with the URLs, and I'd now like to start spamming that URL.
Okay.
The URL that I'm posting is the donation link. That's all.
We're
I'm
here for
posting.
charity, bro.
That's the only URL
Yeah.
I'm posting is the donation link. So no, I'm gonna just post it a bunch of times because we're almost done and we're here for charity. And the reason that we're here is to raise money because our good friend who did this every year unfortunately passed away last year, and we are doing it in her honor for her husband, who is also our good friend, and her children who love to see this. And we've already beat the goal. And if you don't like the URL, then you can go away.
This motherfucker trying to not see feet.
Don't you know we're all trying to get some feet?
God damn.
This is our
Jimmy, you
last
need to-
push. So
Jimmy, put something in the chat
Donate
for
and
me
we'll
because I
read
can't find you.
It's probably hid me. You gotta switch to live chat, I think.
No, I'm back. I'm there, but it's been a while.
Oh,
since
I
you
posted the URL
something, 'cause Shannon
275
posted like
times.
900.
You might have to comment.
I think it's deleting mine because I just did it again. I've done it like I keep spamming it.
Oh, I can't even see you at all. It's deleting them if you post the URL because you need to be modded first. So just comment anything. There you are. Now you can mod him.
Okay.
Oh,
And
is he
then-
Yeah, because earlier I was talking, somebody
Oh,
said,
there
I
you
got 2 words for you, Jimmy, power tools. And I was like, I'm a woodworker, right? Again.
I wasn't even spamming it. I was posting it every like 10 to 15 minutes because I think that that's a reasonable pace so that people have access to it.
You guys are fucked. You're gonna get so many links now.
I know, but
All
now I'm like, guess what? Here's a donation link, and here's a donation link, and here's a donation link. Control V, Control V, Control V. Love you all. Thank you.
Yeah,
for
in case
donating.
anyone missed it, we are here to raise money in the name
And
of
be
Mrs.
petty.
Rhino. And so for a worthwhile charity that we will talk about as soon as this story is done, if we get there.
And if you leave a comment above $10 or more in the donation link that I'm sure you can find somewhere in the chat.
And so if you want
will
me
read
to
your
read out
comment.
loud one of Jimmy's
Last chance.
few faults, if you can find one and come up with one.
Oh, yeah, that's going to
and
be a
mention
tough
it.
list to come by. Just ask my therapist. Oh, it's so hard.
All right.
Basically, that there are more members of Congress who hold the same view as tens of millions of Americans about the non-existence of God. And it just reminded me, he's right about that. America is becoming less Christian every day. Every single year, we're becoming less and less Christian. And that's because we've lost our foundation, really. That's built on the Bible, built on Genesis. We're seeing more and more generations being told that they don't need to believe every single word that's in here, that they can choose right and wrong based on their own standards, elevating, again, man's word over God's.
Everyone does. Everyone chooses right and wrong based on their own standards. Find me a single person who doesn't choose right and wrong based on their own standards.
Right. I forgot what I was going to say.
Word, and that's what we're seeing.
Not good. I'm sorry. That made me angry.
It's just another reminder that we need to get back to biblical authority and base ourselves, all of our thinking, on God's word and God's word alone.
Yeah, for sure. And you can see in history, too, when people have taken this direction and said, oh, well, we can make up our own morals and values and try to borrow that from theism, but just base it on, say, like a supreme being or something like that. That's what the guys in the French Revolution tried to do. And it horribly
bugs me. Like, the morality one bugs me. I want to throw the thing that I said on Twitter and TikTok the other day by the two of you right now. Do you know what I'm about to say? Paul probably does. Jimmy, you probably don't. The whole written on your heart argument really, really bothers me. And it dawned on me out of nowhere for no reason yesterday. Well, the reason was I was watching John Street, who annoys me, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he was talking about Adam and Eve and morality. And if you're using the morality is written on your heart argument, like morality is God-given, like it's an intrinsic part of how God created us argument, you can't hold to a literal version of Genesis, because the very first sin, original sin, the thing that we did as humans that pissed God off the most was eating the apple from the tree that gave us the knowledge of good and evil. God was purposefully attempting to withhold the knowledge of good and evil from us. He did not want us to have it. Our first sin was attaining the knowledge of good and evil. The first sin, the reason that all of us are condemned to hell for eternity and live in this broken, fallen world, is because we stole the knowledge of good and evil against God's will. If it was up to God, if we had obeyed him, we would never, ever, 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 ever have acquired that knowledge. He did not want us to have it. He tried to hold it away from us. He's explicitly told us it was something that he didn't want us to have. So how do you reconcile saying that God wrote it on our hearts and it's an intrinsic part of us because of how God made us, with a literal reading of Genesis that says, well, actually, the very first and worst thing that we ever did was acquire the knowledge of good and evil, and it pissed God off so much that he condemned everybody for eternity forever and ever and ever, and all of us are fucked now, and that's generationally being passed down.
I just see them as extremely insecure about secular humanism, truly, like it's an insecurity of theirs, because they always jump to these giant extreme. Oh, well, look at the Soviet Union and North Korea, and you're literally like, what is it? So you guys are saying that you see all the work secular humanism does. You see the kind of people it creates, and you're going, boy, that other shoe's going to drop, and they're all going to become rapists like tomorrow. That's clearly where this is headed.
It doesn't make any sense. What do you think of my thing? Like, I'm curious, because I've had some Theo bros come at me and been like, actually, have you read this literature? And I'm like, no, it's just a thought that dawned on me the other day. And I'm kind of exploring it. But especially for literalists, it seems like it would be absolutely inconsistent, because how can you say that God donned us morals? Right. At best, you can say that we stole them, I guess.
And for
God was mad
people,
about it.
I think most of the responses that I've seen, people, they get lost in the weeds about whether or not it was original sin. In a way, if I was going to present, if I was even going to present that again, I'd actually leave the original sin part out of it, because that's like actually inconsequential to your gotcha.
Yeah, no, that doesn't matter. It's not paramount to my point.
The point is that if Romans 1:20 is true and morality was written on our hearts, it would have had to have been written. Was it not written on our hearts before Eve ate the apple? And if not, did Eve eating the apple write the law on our hearts at that point? And so the law being written on our hearts is actually part of our fallen nature somehow.
Yeah. It's like, it's weird and inconsistent to me. It means that, I mean, people have pointed this out before, that we were being punished because we didn't know what right from wrong was, and then did something that he deemed wrong when we were incapable of knowing right from wrong at that point in time. We only knew right from wrong because we did the thing that we weren't supposed to do, that we couldn't have known was wrong. And he didn't want us to do it. He didn't want us to acquire that knowledge. So why would he not want it then but now all of a sudden he wants it for everybody, and it's just an intrinsic and inherent part of us.
I just want them to explain the transition to me. Like, all right, you know me. My philosophy is it's basically have empathy when you can and sympathy when you can't. Treat humans like that. Where you can love people in theory, if you can't practically, all that sort of hippy dippy shit that's a part of my humanism. Now, what step is it that you see between that and murder and rape? Because you think it's like the same side of the coin. So what's the step that you're expecting me to take? And as far as I can tell, there's like, well, but you guys let queers exist.
I mean, I am a queers that exist. So,
let me tell you where I let them exist.
Yeah.
So, but you heard him say already that his definition of humanism is not what we would define as humanism.
It's
Their
not what
definition of
humanists would
humanism
define as
is merely just anyone who values human opinion over God's opinion is a humanist.
Yeah. Are you saying that they misdefined something in order to misrepresent somebody and then
I feel like we
generalize
covered that
that
earlier,
label,
yeah.
even though it wasn't applicable?
You're asking for a slap. Is there any part of this series that isn't seeped in equivocation fallacies?
No. Nope.
They're able to redefine morality such that they were able to kill everybody who disagreed with them, basically. Yeah. So it's something really to be praying about. And also, we can pray for this congressman and just...
She's talking about the French Revolution.
Everybody knows that was about atheism.
And Homebro went, yep.
That's Rocket Rob. You address him correctly.
Marie Antoinette was famously rallying against the fucking
Oh my fucking God.
Everybody knows that. Common knowledge. Read a history book.
It's talking about, because that is, when we read these kinds of things, it's easy just to be like, oh no, but it's actually, we can use it as a reminder to pray for them, and that will really have a significant impact if we do that.
Yeah, pray the fuck away. Pray for us. Pray, please, pray. Do you know how many people are probably praying for us right now in earnest? How much impact do you think that that's having?
But not it's a fraction of how many say that they are praying for.
It's also true. That is true.
Why in this still does she look like a young Weird Al Yankovic?
That is your Daniel
I can't
Radcliffe.
unsee that actually.
It's I was reluctant to share a visual observation.
It's the eyes. It is like I'm covering her mouth. But yeah, it's the
He's
eyes.
from Church of Christ, so similarly dead inside.
Is it?
I know, it's very disappointing. He is a part of a church that is so dogmatic that they're not allowed to listen to pop music, which I haven't figured out for him yet.
Interesting.
How he's gotten the loophole, but yes, Weird Al goes to a very dogmatic, shitty church.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry to ruin him.
We should read the last of the donations because, or I can vacate because I am getting exhausted because it is 1 a.m.
Okay, well that's fine. Yeah, we can wrap it up here. I'm just going to tell you what the last story was, just in case that totally rejuvenates.
It might entice Jimmy.
So and Jimmy and I can.
I drifted off. What?
Oh no, I'm going to tell you what the last story was. This is the second last story. The last story is major U.S. city coughs up $2 million for trying to kill Christian flag.
Kill a flag? Are flags sentient creatures now?
I don't know.
How does somebody kill a flag?
Well, they're for the killing. It would be to try to, I think, remove from the flying of the.
That's killing? That seems like really hyperbolic language.
Anyway, so
kill a flag.
Yeah, it's a censoring thing apparently, and we'll see. Anyway, you guys don't. So that didn't solely spark your interest, so that's fine. We are going to. I think. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing.
Just
let's
you and Answers News.
Go back to. Let's go back to this. Let's hit refresh. Let's see where we hit. Oh, we didn't quite.
10,600 is huge, though.
That is
That's
amazing.
awesome.
Thank you, everyone, for your incredible generosity and for hanging out with us. But let's read the comments before.
What did we hit? Do I need to take my shoes off?
10,000.
No, we didn't. Not
okay.
quite.
We
hit
15,000.
We hit 10,600 something.
Okay, got it.
All right, so we have $20 from Eric Storch. Google Limecat and do side by side with Georgia. Well, no. I mean, I don't know what that is, but that might be fun recreation
We
for
raised
everyone at home.
almost $3,000 on this stream, though. That's amazing.
Before
That
I
is
Google,
amazing. You go ahead.
before I Google Limecat, do I need to have my VPN on and or in incognito mode?
I am impressed that you don't just always have your fucking VPN on.
It's
Given how
on
I'm
pretty often.
assuming your days go in my head on the computer.
It's often the times it's usually off are for collabs because for some reason it makes connecting to video calls fucking
Oh,
weird.
gotcha.
Got ya.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's safe for
All
work,
right.
apparently.
So Random Curmudgeon X writes, arm pulled, foot stomped, viscosity index falling. Oh no.
I think
That-
viscosity index is a real thing.
It is.
That
yeah.
sounds like
It's like a
a
Scoville scale.
early 2000s action movie.
Oh man,
Viscosity index falling.
you actually should Google Limecat and put it on the. Yeah, it's fine to put on. I wouldn't.
Oh, is
I
it?
wouldn't purposefully sabotage your stream.
All right. Well, let me read these first, and then
You know what a
we'll
better
read what
word
we
to
got.
use is? Ductile. Do you know what ductile means?
No.
To Google it. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so and then I do not like this charity stream automatic ticker. That's not my favorite. All right, so we got Jeff Dunn writes, "What's the stretch goal for singing a round of row 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 your boat?" Well, 11,000, I guess, and I don't think we're gonna get there
Started.
before Shannon taps out. But if someone does, if we do, I'll hit refresh before she leaves. Fade to gray. Make Jimmy stop doing unpleasant things. No, that's
fucking
not a
wish
thing
I
that
could.
can happen. He's supposed to be conducting himself
We've been
as
trying
a man.
for 4 years. It's not happened yet.
You invited me.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know. We
I
all make
shall
mistakes.
remind you.
Everybody makes mistakes.
All right. Well, those
You
were
keep
the-
making the mistakes.
I know, over and fucking over again.
We're about to launch a show together. My God.
I tried.
All right.
not
So now I'm going
Bore me
to.
down.
Oh, wrong thing. So now I need to share.
to. What are we sharing?
Okay. So we're looking.
I mean, you could do the
for,
Google first if you're worried, because I don't know what
No,
your
no, I did.
algorithm's
I
gonna-
looked at it. So
Okay.
it's all right. It's.
For all I know, your algorithm's going to be like, oh, you were looking for sex shit.
Okay. So let's see. We
Watermelon
got
head.
these are lime cats.
And they said do a side by side with Georgia.
Oh, it's a
I unfortunately this software doesn't let me do side by side with Georgia, but let me. Well, actually, hold. Okay, let me go back. Hold. Now we'll go. So we're looking at this, and then we go back to the
And
stream,
knowing
and there's
Yeah.
Georgia, and then we go back to the lime cat.
They're not similar.
Oh,
All
I
right.
like the one that has the
Candidates
bangs
are,
cut into
and-
it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
My
Okay, well, I'm
favorite
someone has a meme to make when we're done on this.
That's right.
on
I
this.
think so.
Okay.
one.
I do like that Nancy Grace is in the group there with them too. With Lime Cat.
Well, I mean, we can all see why.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that much is clear.
Yeah. I'm not doing some complex equations over here.
Yeah, the calculus on that.
How do I get this view? There we go.
It
Now
is
you can
your
see. Perfect.
buttons. Nobody else can help.
I
you.
don't know. I'm a little bit past being able to coherently push buttons. So.
I think that's Rihanna there underneath.
Ooh,
Oh,
there we go.
actually, the Rihanna picture is closer than Georgia by miles.
All I love and will protect Rihanna.
That doesn't mean that her hair does not look like that line. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
can't
get it.
protect her from the truth. That is fucking true.
I get it. Pointed eye makeup too. It's the whole thing's coming together.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like this Captain Kangaroo one is the worst. That's that's nothing.
I love Captain Kangaroo.
Yeah, but that's enough. He doesn't.
But now
look like
looking at him, I'm like, how was I not terrified of that as a child? Like, how did that not traumatize me? Like, maybe I
Captain
am
Kangaroo
messed
was
up
not a
as
part of
result.
my childhood.
It wasn't.
He looks
That's
Australian.
Not a
Is he?
Canadian thing. Is it a Canadian thing, Captain Kangaroo?
Captain
Bullshit.
Kangaroo is 100% Australian. Yeah, he's
Australian. Oh, okay.
but he was on CBC because of Commonwealth.
yeah,
I
so
mean,
was
he
Mr.
looks like
Dress Up.
somebody he would say, like, "Good eye, oh, Captain Kangaroo." Like that, I see that in the picture, but I don't know what he sounds
Yes.
like. All right, nailed
I
it.
watched him as a kid,
He's,
and I also watched
he's-
Mr. Dress Up.
He's
And
halfway
the Big
between
Friendly
Steve
Giant.
Irvin.
They were all on like together. It was like Captain Kangaroo, Mr. Dress Up, like the Big Friendly Giant, and then Mr. Rogers.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Americans don't know what any of those things are.
Mr. Rogers, they would know.
Mr. Rogers,
Sure.
most of the rest of those though were.
I get if they don't know the Big Friendly Giant and Mr. Dress Up even? They don't know Mr. Dress Up?
Mr. Dress Up's Canadian.
Oh, I thought that would have crossed borders. Okay.
Nope.
Interesting. Probably not. They probably don't know Sharon, Lois, and Bram either then. Like anything from
Nope.
my childhood that I loved.
All right, listen,
So they don't know
Paul.
Skidamarinky Dinky Dink? That's sad.
Paul, this has been SFW so far, but I am not as confident in you that it's okay to just keep
Yeah.
scrolling.
You know what? You
Yeah,
are
live
reading
chat
my
could
thought.
go
The thought
wrong,
the
but-
thought I just had was, wait,
Yeah.
I've scrolled down pretty far now.
Yeah.
I was with you. I had the exact same thought. Yeah.
They were clothed, but you did reach anime titties. I noticed. Clothed for
You're
now.
only ever
Yeah,
three scrolls
no,
away
so
from anime
I have the
titties
same-
and Google Images.
I have the same thought. All good. Okay.
Too
Well,
good.
thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on our stream tonight for our very first live Ham and Egg News. And this was all for charity. So thank you for that. You can obviously, if you are watching this on replay, I don't know how you got all the way to the end watching on replay, but congratulations. And you can continue to donate. It's open until the end of November or so, I'm told. So if you've already had Thanksgiving turkey and now you want to, spend your Black Friday savings here, perfect.
You don't think they stuck around to see if there was feet?
I forgot about
They may have. That's right. Actually, and on the replay, they can just jump ahead. They can.
That's right. Here, I'll do this so
I
that
like
they'll
how
stop here.
legitimately disappointed you are. Like,
Here, this is for the thumbnail.
Yeah.
that will be a thumbnail. Maybe not
all right.
this one.
Well, now I actually need to do one more.
I just pulled my ass out. I am too old to do that. What the fuck is wrong? My right ass is pulled out.
My right ass.
I mean the muscle. The muscle. I don't mean I pulled my ass like out to show people. I'm saying I have pulled out my ass. The muscle.
My face
All right.
hurts. I need
Well,
to
on
go to
that
bed.
note.
Fuck
On
you
that
guys.
note, good night. Did either of you have a closing comment other than I pulled my ass out?
No. I
Willow.
can't top that. I got nothing.
Will-O-Wisp
I got
says,
nothing.
"Not your wrong ass. Your right ass."
Oh,
All right. Well,
I'm just very excited that we raised like $3,000 for the charity. Woo!
I'm looking forward to taking credit.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes, this was entirely Jimmy's idea. He didn't only find out 4 hours ago that this was happening.
It's in the name of
all right.
feet.
Well, thanks for watching, and until next time, later.